Hi, everybody. Welcome back. My name is Dean, and we're here yet again. It is the start of the week. We have fucking everything happening in one day. It's one of those like Mondays where you don't really ease into it because everything happened over the weekend. And when I say everything, I mean like fucking everything. Elon Musk bought Twitter today. That's where we're going to start. We'll talk about that. That is the most fucked up shit I've ever seen in my life. In my business
I want to get
life.
into this.
I know. I'm excited. We're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the Rolling Thunder Convoy, ladies and gentlemen. The Rolling Thunder Convoy. It's like the Flu Trucks clan, only with less wheels, less brain cells, and more chlamydia. Yes, Lachlan, you have a question to start.
I have a question about Rolling Thunder, and I don't want this to be taken as offensive.
Keep in mind, this is the intro, but yes, I'll stop to answer your question.
Yes. Yeah. I didn't think this could wait.
Clearly.
Rolling Thunder. Does that sound a little like what your wife might tell you she's doing on a Saturday night with her girlfriends? We got a limo.
Whoa.
And I've got Sarah.
Rolling Thunder.
Even Crystal's coming.
Well, isn't it?
And we're going down to the bar.
That's what the whole night is. It's Rolling Thunder because
we've heard they don't pull their cocks out.
Anyway,
is it just me, or does it sound a little like that?
It sounds a lot like that. Yeah.
I don't even know if I should bring baby oil or not.
Anyway, we've got another fake convoy coming to Ottawa this weekend. Also, Pierre Poilievre went full Mein Kampf on the weekend, his struggle. And we're going to get to that. We're going to get to some really sad chicken people as well today. And we've got a couple of videos, including a very shaky Vlad Putin that just emerged as fuck. But please welcome back to the program, Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him at Lachlan Cross on Twitter. And from the True North Eager Beaver podcast, you may know him from 2 months ago as Blue Jacket Guy. I know him as Paul Atkinson at Paulie's World. Please welcome one of the hosts of that podcast, a friend of mine, now part of the network, Mr. Paul Atkinson, ladies and gentlemen. He's here. He's back. Blue Jacket Guy. Nice to see you.
Yeah, see you too.
Really good to see the blue jacket in the background. It's like a piece of history now. It's like a piece of cultural icon history is what it is.
Well, I have to say thanks to a couple of local pubs and a couple of local restaurants that were kind enough to purchase dinner and drinks for me on a couple of occasions because they just thought what I did was pretty cool. And I'm like, all I did was exercise my extreme white privilege. That was it. I mean, really. I knew I could go out there and do what I did. And again, none of it was planned. None of it was planned, but I knew that I wasn't going to face any repercussions. And I didn't. If anything, I've got more people supporting me now than ever before. It's helped grow the podcast. And again, there was never any intention to do that. It just, it just happened. It was one of those like lightning in a bottle things, right? Yeah, exactly.
This is the name of your podcast. It's called the True North Eager Beaver. You can download it wherever you get your fine podcasts, including at deanblundell.com coming up in the next few days. It is very, very good. I want to talk to you a little bit about not just your podcast, but I want to talk to you about Blue Jacket Guy because you are known around the world as Blue Jacket Guy. You went viral. And then, you saved the best for last, obviously, because I didn't know when you were Blue Jacket Guy. I thought you were just some really crazy yuppie in Ottawa that was like, fuck, I really need to go to sleep. But you're one of those grinders, right? Like you get up in the morning, you've got several different gigs all in the media industry. You got a great jazz podcast. You got that podcast. You do voice work. You got the voice of an angel, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
Sexy male angel, if you will. Hello. Well, he does, Locke. Like,
he does.
Yeah, he does. He's a
you
killer
should do
voice.
Rolling Thunder ads.
Rolling Thunder.
But you really kind of captured the imagination of people because no one was fighting back to that point, right? Like that was the fucking crazy part.
The imagination. He went into the streets and yelled at people. You captured the imagination of an entire country, Paul, by losing
nobody
your
was
shit
doing
on.
Nobody was doing that to that point. That's my point.
You make it sound like a setup for a Disney movie.
One man on a mission.
One man. A blue coat, some serious anger.
He snapped. I'd slept in 4 days and we just started yelling at rednecks. What he did.
I kind of champed that one, eh?
Yeah, did you ever? And I
snapped.
snapped. I
lose
loved it. Yeah. But was it weird, like, after that? Because we didn't really catch up with you after that. And I thought, fuck, this guy's life must be good. He must be getting free meals everywhere.
Well, I did get a couple. North and Navy, a lovely restaurant here in town, invited a group of us out, like Zexy Lee, the pot and ladle guy, balcony guy, and myself.
Mm-hmm.
Balcony guy wanted to remain anonymous because I went off way worse than you did. I'm like, yeah. So no worries. So he's
talking about balcony guy, the guy that sounded like Ricky, who was like, "Hey, go fuck yourself. Why don't you take your horn, stick it up your fucking ass, see if I fucking care."
He had a drink in his hand too, didn't he?
I think so. Yeah.
Oh, so all the heroes from the pandemic: Blue Jacket guy, the lady that started the class action lawsuit, the balcony guy. And he doesn't want his name out there? Is that the thing?
No.
Pot and ladle guy. What a party.
The pot and ladle guy was hilarious. Yeah.
What was he like? Oh,
I didn't get a chance to meet him, but I have talked to Zexy a couple of times, and she's just a remarkable young woman. Remarkable young woman who really did take on, the mantle. And as far as I'm concerned, she's the hero in this story because she became a target for all of these horrible human beings. Like
Has she been targeted?
They threatened her life. They tried to dox her. They did all kinds of crap to her. This is the kind of people we're dealing with. I mean,
Yeah.
Can we relive Blue Jacket guy just for a second? I know this isn't your real persona, but Blue Jacket guy is the best. Watch this.
Fucking freedom have you lost? What freedom have you lost? Tell me a freedom you've lost. I lost my mind because I haven't slept in 5 fucking days.
You know what amazes me about this, Paul, is we're sitting here watching this again, and I didn't even think about it. Lachlan's dying laughing, so he's really enjoying this. Your discomfort. But what amazes me about this is you fucking lost it. You're yelling at them, and I forgot to mention this to you. And then you stopped to listen to see if they had a coherent argument after the fact. Like, that's the fucking, you're like, okay, I'll listen. I've said my piece. I'll listen. Why the fuck would you even listen to these people? And what was she saying?
This is how I talk to the cell phone companies.
Yeah. That was a pickup truck that pulled up after he saw me pounding on the door of the truck right behind me in that image. And he's like, "Hey, that's his truck. You should be careful." And I go, "I haven't slept in 5 days, man. Like, no, this is bullshit.
You should be careful."
Is that what they said? They told you to be careful. They've been honking for a week, Salt, and they're like, hey, careful, man.
Yeah, careful.
So Canadian.
Oh my God. Oh, this was so good though. Yeah, and the crazy, like, this is the great part, right? Is where you were like, you approach the camera because the camera guy's like, chill out, bro.
Fucking stop. Then it stops when the government lifts the mandates. You fucking idiot! The mandates are provincial, not.
It's so much funnier like 3 months later.
It is.
You're
It's
fucking
so
idiot.
funnier.
The mandates are provincial. Well, that's Paul, and he's dude. Love having you here, and really grateful that you're part of the podcast network. But it's happening this weekend, bro.
Do you have video from Balcony Guy?
I'll get it. I'll get it. We'll play it later in the show. But it's happening this weekend. Did you see? I
fucking love that, Paul. Like that was so good.
It was incredible. Did you see the
Rolling Thunder?
Rolling Thunder schedule of events? If
Get
you
the
haven't
baby
heard.
oil out.
Yeah, the hippie / Caneston crowd is coming to Ottawa again, riding their motorcycles this time. Thoughts on this big event that they've got scheduled this weekend, Paul? You're still there. They plan on bringing their motorcycles. Again, let me just reiterate. These are just pissed off children that support white supremacy with everything they are.
What are they upset about right now?
We don't know because there's no mandates and there's no restrictions. So I think this is one of those preemptive things like, hey, remember us. But like when you saw this coming out as Blue Jacket guy, what are your thoughts? Like, what the fuck are you guys coming? There's no mandates. There's no restrictions. What are you doing?
That was my thought. But
okay.
What are you protesting? Everything has been dropped. One of the ones I heard was, well, I can't fly to Europe. But what has that got to do with the Prime Minister of Canada? Nothing. Talk to the European Parliament. They won't let you in if you're not vaccinated. So, it's just a whole bunch of horse shit, white supremacy, evangelical crap, and all they want to do is shove their message down everybody's throat. And I think they're going to try and pull it again. But here's the best part.
What is it?
This is great.
All right.
A young woman here in Ottawa actually heard about this when they first talked about it. So the first thing she did, she went out and got a permit to protest on the Hill that day. And because of that, if they show up, she can just turn to Parliamentary Protective Services or PPS and say, yeah, they're not here, evict them. And they have to escort them away.
Huh. So a woman has gone and filed a permit ahead of them looking for a permit at Parliament Hill. So she's having her own protest, and they're not allowed to go to that protest to protest on top of her protest. I like it.
Yeah. So, I mean, if they show up, we'll just get them booted. She's like, what are we going to do? I'm like, I can bring, I don't know, a laptop and somebody bring up some big Bluetooth speakers and we can play Ram Ranch for hours. Just for the hell of it.
Well, it could be anything, right? Like it doesn't, you don't have to be, you just pick something to be angry at. I'll help you with that.
Yeah.
Well, we will do some protesting against the war in Ukraine because we've already done that a couple of months.
There you go. Everyone wears yellow.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. Put on a yellow and blue ribbon and go up there. And and then
you could literally protest anything other than that. And everybody be like, at least you're not a bunch of fucking dumb rednecks. Thank you very much. Because you'll probably pay attention to the rules and the regulations of protest. One of the things that was going around this last week was the idea that they weren't allowed to protest. So Ryan wrote this great piece at deanblundell.com. It's Rolling Thunder Ottawa releases fake update from police to prop up dismal support. Now, this is fucking hilarious. So ahead of Rolling Thunder, Lachlan, ahead of Rolling Thunder, the whole idea was that
loud, ladies,
that they want to pretend to be victims, right? Like in my guesstimation, Paul Locke, the whole idea here is got like 4 or 5 different prongs to it. One of the prongs is to make money. Another prong is to assert their fucking white supremacy theocratic bullshit on unsuspecting people just because they like the fucking shape and smell of power. Another prong of this is they think that Jesus Christ is literally asking them to do this through a series of interpretive dances, I think. And so there's that one. And then you've got, 3, 4, 5. But then you've got this one that really interests me. And the one that really interests me, the thing that really interests me the most about these people is the idea that each one of them are going to get all the way downtown for some type of protest. Here's the rub. They know that they weren't going to get there. They knew it. They were told that, listen, if you guys come with like loud equipment and stuff, we've got an exclusionary zone around Parliament. So what they did, Locke, Paul, which I find very greasy, is they mocked up this Ottawa Police General Public Notice. Okay,
it's not even very well done.
No, this is what
in line with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms.
This is what the Rolling Thunder organizing group, and keep in mind, racists are terrible fucking planners, and they leave out all kinds of details. So they put up this thing. Since the time of the unlawful protest, City of Ottawa and the Ottawa Police have maintained posture. The vehicles-based supported protests, rallies, events will be allowed to downtown core. This includes the area of Parliament Hill National Forum. In line with the Charter of Rights and Freedoms, protest demonstrations will continue to be allowed in the downtown core area. We fully appreciate the concerns residents working and mitigate any disruptions, maintain order. Residents and businesses are still working to heal after the impact of the unlawful protests. In that context, we'll continue to develop public safety plan and manage several large events in the coming months. Not only was this a bullshit mock-up, Ottawa Police then said, hey, listen, we'll tell you what's happening. And they said, hey, you can protest your balls off if you like. You can't bring those motorcycles into the downtown core in an exclusionary zone, but come and protest.
Hold on,
do
I'm
your
confused.
Best. What's that?
That's a fake letter?
Yeah, totally fake.
Totally fake.
Who
100%.
who wrote it?
We don't know.
No idea.
We have
and
no
were
idea.
they putting those up in the downtown?
No. They were sending them out on social media to try and raise money, saying, "Look, we're already victims. Please donate to Rolling Thunder if you can, dude. It's the same fucking script. It's the same script."
Okay.
Look,
so this time it's a letter.
Yeah.
Last time it was they had some sort of a creed, like that they were going to do, right? Like they had something.
They had a memorandum of understanding.
Memorandum of understanding.
Right.
Okay.
But this letter is is hilarious because it sort of mimics, a press release that the Ottawa Police Services put out today. And the press release they put out today was basically saying, hey, listen, you're more than welcome to come and protest, but you're going to have to park your bikes in this area, and then you're going to have to walk down to a certain area, and there are going to be certain areas that are off limits to you, right? There are going to be certain spots that you can't go, like you can't go to the foot of Parliament. You can't go to the exclusionary zones that were abused during the February convoy, right? So that was the whole idea. But these cats sent around this fucking fake note from Ottawa Police, which is total bullshit. And the note that went around basically said, oh, well, no one's allowed to protest downtown. It's an absolute fucking lie, Paul. It's totally a fucking lie. And they did that because this is what they do, dudes, right? This is what they do. They invent.
So did the Ottawa police counter that statement and say, okay, so they've already come out and got in front of it.
Yeah.
But the damage has probably already been done, right? Like the people.
Because they want everybody to think Trudeau's a tyrant. Did you see hashtag Trudeau is a tyrant trending on the weekend? Do you know why? That's why.
Okay. All right. It's the, if you haven't got victimhood, then create it.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Okay.
Look who's here too. Are we allowed to use your real name, Mr. Mr. Beaver? Douglas, ladies and gentlemen. Douglas is here. Douglas is here. He's part of the True North Eager Beaver podcast. Great to see you, Douglas. We're just talking about Rolling Thunder coming to town this weekend. You got to be excited.
Oh, yeah. I'm
tittillating, excited.
Rolling Thunder. It's the Thunder from Down Under. Wasn't that a stripper group from Australia? About
Yeah.
30 years ago?
That's right.
The Thunder from Down Under.
Yeah. That's who they are. That's exactly who they are. You nailed it. Douglas is the other half of the True North Eager Beaver podcast with Paul Atkinson. Great to see you, Douglas. We're just talking about I don't know if you're going to be attending this weekend's festivities, but if you do, just know on Sunday there's a biker church service, and you have to bring your own canestin.
Yeah. What, is that an unleavened service?
No, very yeasty service. Yeah.
Do you think they'll be stopped though this time? I mean, I remember when we were leading up to the trucker convoy in January, there was a lot of discussion, and even on this podcast, but right across the country about what it even was. I remember hearing on my end in Alberta that what it was, and then there was like 10 miles of trucks at one point, or 100 miles, or
4,000 miles of trucks. They spanned the globe.
Yes, it kept getting bigger and bigger, and more.
A daisy chain of trucks is what it was.
So do you think that this will actually materialize? Do you guys think that and what does the Ottawa police do? Because they sort of set an interesting precedent with the trucker convoy in that they booted that whole thing.
Yeah.
Do you think that there's going to be pressure on them to stop this from happening?
Definitely. The vibe in the city right now is we don't want them here. Keep them out of our damn city. And people are especially in Centertown, in the downtown core where I live. Parliament Hill is 800 meters from my front door. We don't want this shit again. We can't do it again. And I think if thousands of bikers came here, violence would occur, and it would be coming from the citizenry, who would be just, throwing eggs, whatever they can find, because we can't do this again. I mean, we were abandoned by the city, by the province for 3 weeks.
One of our national political parties.
Yeah, like the federal government stepped in with the Emergencies Act. Whatever you think, and I know, Locke, I know you're no fan of Justin, and that's fine. It's neither here nor there. That was the only one who did anything, though. Old Dougie completely abandoned us in Centertown because, A, it's an NDP riding for the province of Ontario. It's a Liberal riding federally, and we are mostly poor, working class, and lower middle class. We're not the wealthy donor crowd that Dougie likes to saddle up to. So he didn't lift a finger to do a damn thing until he got a phone call from Joe Biden to clear the Ambassador Bridge. And then he said, well, you really shouldn't do that in Ottawa. But he didn't do anything. He didn't contribute. He didn't help. He did nothing. So was the federal government that had to step in and clear the city. And I mean, I've never seen police clear a crowd like that in my life. Nobody
Carefully.
was shot. Like, it was unbelievable. Nobody was killed.
Yeah.
A couple people got roughed up. They didn't pepper spray or shoot rubber bullets and I think a lot of it was funny. I watched a lot of the Quebecois truck drivers that were there. And as soon as they saw the SQ, the Sûreté du Québec, they got in their trucks and left immediately. They were not sticking around.
Yeah, they knew. Yeah.
Is that Douglas? Is that like when you're like, obviously you don't live in Ottawa. You live just outside of Ottawa, so you probably weren't inconvenienced. Had actually a very different convoy experience than your friend Paul.
Well, I actually do have a condo right in the market, which
you do?
Yeah, I did not come home. Basically where I was in Kingston when it started, and said, yeah, I'm just staying here.
Yeah,
because I was physically closer than he was. So
yes,
it would have been unbearable.
Well, let's talk about not just the unbearableness of what you went through, and obviously the trepidation of getting to this point again, and knowing these guys are coming. There's obviously some, anxiety, wondering what's going to happen, and if it's going. But here's the question I have for you: who's helping these guys on the inside, right? Like, I watched Pierre Poilievre go full Mein Kampf on the weekend.
Oh yeah.
And this, as we know, there's going to be inquiry. As we know, Justin Trudeau's already taken bullets for this inquiry, saying, "Oh, you didn't tell us why you triggered the emergency response." Well, fuck, I watched it on TV for a month. I've got a pretty good fucking idea of why he did it, you dumb fucks.
They just want it to be for another reason, so that it could fit their narrative. They don't like the reason why.
Like, how are they weaponizing that now, Douglas? Explain that to me. You're a longtime political staffer. You've a long time in Ottawa. You know how the game is played. How are the Conservatives playing this? Because you know how well they played the last convoy.
Right. Well, I mean, unfortunately, Conservatives are not particularly original, and they like to copy stuff, and they love the rerun. So, it's pretty much going to be a second attempt at the same playbook. I don't foresee there being anything different. They think that they have the majority on this side. They think that they have the cops with them. They think that they have the narrative. They think that they're winning this debate. So it's just going to be more of the same. They've managed to convince themselves of that.
Mm-hmm.
So from the weaponizing comes from it's a principle that's called constructing the political enemy. It's easier to fight against something than to fight for something. Mm-hmm. And it's always easier to rally people to your cause.
That's pathetic.
Yeah. And it's always easier to rally people to your cause if you place yourself in the role of the victim. So if you'll notice with the narrative of the Conservatives, they're always nailing themselves to crosses.
Mm.
They literally are. It's like, no matter what, they're always demanding an apology. They're always like, for example, like T-Rex Murphy the other day, put out this, this article, now that you got it wrong about this, the arsonist, that they had nothing to do actually with the convoy, are you going to apologize to the rest of the people of the convoy? It's like, no. Why would you? Why are you demand an apology? You're still dealing with a bunch of people that didn't know better than to leave after the swastika showed up.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Well, that's a great point, right? Like, one Nazi shows up to a dinner party, guess what you have? A fucking Nazi dinner party. Like, I mean, we've said that. Lynn's is in as well, so I had Ryan Lindley, Paul and Douglas from the Eager Beaver podcast.
Great
and we're just talking about the Rolling Thunder bit and how they've kind of and obviously gave you credit because you were the person that wrote the story about how they're faking this narrative, this victim narrative. And they started with that one fake letter from Ottawa police, but then the Ottawa police showed up today, Lynn's, and they were like, yeah, we're going to block off parts of downtown because of what happened in February. But my understanding is that every single mentally infected redneck, hillbilly, loser, white supremacist can still go protest in Ottawa, right? They haven't shut down the ability to protest. As a matter of fact, my understanding is Lynn's, is that what they said was, come on down. Just come on down like this, correct?
That's exactly what they said. They said they've done nothing. Vehicles don't have the right to protest in any country that I'm aware of. And they've said that you yourself, with your 2 feet and your heartbeat, can come down here and protest your little hearts out, and you'll be fine. So they don't have a leg to stand on in some sort of an infringement argument. It's literally a traffic control measure, and that's not protected by the Constitution or the Charter of Rights and Freedoms or the Fourth Amendment, whatever they like to try and pretend it is, or whatever. So they're the statement, the fake statement that
Charter
they put
of
out
Rights and Freedoms.
Yeah, the fake statement they put out yesterday was in the same tone as the official statement today, but it obviously wasn't the real one. So I'm guessing they did speak to somebody, probably a liaison officer that's liaising with the organizers from this group. Which, by the way, if you go and check out their social media, check out their website, you can't find out why they want to protest. There's no aim to this protest this weekend.
Have they not? Have they not? What's that, Douglas?
The protest is the point, right? It's maintaining. It's always putting the fuel on the fire. It's always having the next piece of red meat ready. It doesn't matter, right? And this is where we get the problem when we have people on the other side saying we can't do this because we might provoke them, we might make them mad. They are going to be mad anyway because they live for the rage. They're not happy.
Yeah,
they are angry. So do it anyway. Do the right thing anyway. So when Trudeau turned around and said, "Yeah, okay, I'm going to impose the Emergencies Measures Act," right? It's been 3 weeks. I've given everybody a chance. The city is tapped out. The police said that we're over. We can't do it. The province is tapped out. I mean, like I said, they had to call the Americans to toe in. Some people, right? And Joe Biden gave a call, says, "We can clear that up for you." Well, I mean, so okay, Doug took care of that because there's an election coming, and the last thing he wants to look is weak. So he took care of that. But the Ottawa stuff, I mean, literally, like Paul said, it's like, sorry, we were abandoned, like this, and Poilievre being like the main one because I think he's the only CPC MP with a seat in the Ottawa area.
Yes.
So I mean, he literally fed everyone to the wolves.
Oh yeah.
He literally told everyone. He's just like, yeah, you guys don't matter, and I'm turning my back on you.
You know what I think is happening in the world of the political landscape right now is I think everyone is trying to weigh where they stand, right? And how the public feels about what the way we're living, right? So I think there is this balancing act that our public officials are doing right now, where they're sitting down, and this is what drives me fucking crazy about politicians. Instead of sitting there and doing the right thing, there's a conversation, and they all do it. And Paul, you mentioned that I hate Justin Trudeau. I'm not taking that off the table.
He never does. It's always on the table with us all the time.
Is severe for that man because of his virtue signaling. I just he drives me insane. And I think he's weak, and I don't think but part of my problem with politics as a whole is there is this balancing act constantly about whether or not this group is going to think and that group's going to think. I got an idea. Just fucking do the right thing. Because quite often it's sitting there staring you in the face. Instead of trying to appease everybody, which is what they try to do, they end up pissing off fucking everybody. Instead of just having the balls to make a decision to do what you think is right. I would have so much more fucking respect for politicians as a whole, if they stepped up to these goddamn stumps and they said, you know what? This is going to upset some people. Yeah. This is what we're doing. And this is why I am making this decision. That never happens. There's always this fucking juggling act, and it drives me insane.
Oh, you and me both, brother.
And it's not about conservative or liberal or fucking NDP or the coalition. I got that in there for you, Ryan. It's not about any of it. It's about all of it. They all do this.
They're pathologically risk averse. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And it just drives me nuts.
Good one. Pathologically risk averse. We've seen the clock actually change faces in the past, 10, 15 years, right? But not so much as we've seen it in the past 2 years. Yesterday, I'm sitting down and I'm watching a baseball game in the afternoon, beautiful afternoon. It was kind of sunny outside, and I'm like, I'm gonna watch a ball game. I'm gonna blog, and I'm like, I was in a good mood. And then all of a sudden, I see this clip from Pierre Poilievre. I don't know where he was. Western Sudbury. Yeah, he was in Sudbury, Ontario. He was in Sudbury, Ontario. And I want to play this clip for you guys, Locke. To your point, right? If you're super sick of Trudeau and you hate Trudeau, I get it. But this is the alternative. This dude who invents rage and says that, well, fuck, let me just play it for you because to the point that I that I watched this, I was also sickened by it because I have a brain, right? It's not that I have a side or that I've got a leaning or I've got a narrative that I actually enjoy. This guy is legitimately using divisive hate to paint everybody else that doesn't agree with what he's saying as someone who is racist and doesn't want the world to be a better place, which is very Mein Kampf. It is very his struggle. Have a listen.
You know what this woke business is about, right? What is it about is dividing people. Dividing them by race, gender, sexuality, vaccination status. They'll by next year, they'll have invented a new way to divide our people, won't they? They will find a way to divide our people, and it's ironic that Trudeau is always talking about these issues because of his ugly racist past himself. Now, some people say, isn't it ironic? Isn't it ironic that someone who has such an ugly history with racism likes to chastise other people on the same subject? And you know what isn't actually very consistent? Because back then, when he was a young racist, he liked to divide people on race. And now he likes to divide people on race. He's always dividing people. It is not a new tactic. It's the oldest trick in the book. It's called divide and conquer, right? This is what they're doing. If they can make you afraid of your neighbor, if they can get you fighting with your coworker, if they can get you thinking that the trucker who puts food on your table is a risk and a danger, if he can make you look around and see nothing but risks around every corner, then he thinks he'll get you to turn to him and offer him ever more power over your life. That's the trick.
Isn't he describing him?
Yes.
Like, isn't he fucking describing not only him, but what he's doing at that exact moment? Please,
Precisely.
Douglas, let's start with you, and then we'll go to Paul.
Yes.
Then we'll open it up. Explain that.
Absolutely. Common rhetoric, rhetorical device when you don't have anything. First of all, always be, put your opponent on the back foot by accusing them of precisely what it is that you're doing. Like this, because when you accuse the other people, then they start saying, I don't do that. They're defending, you're losing.
Paul,
sounds like Russia.
It's like the battered wife syndrome or the cheated wife syndrome. The husband comes home and accuses the wife of cheating. She thinks, okay, he hates cheating, so I will never cheat. Meanwhile, he's got like 6 kids in Utah.
Yeah.
Right. A couple wives, and
It's always Utah.
Well, the sister wives, right? So
yeah.
He's a businessman. Well, that's Chicago, right? Irving. He had
yeah.
The businessman.
But
But that's what happens, right? It's if you do not want to be called out on something, be the first one to go on the attack, calling out
Get
someone.
in front of it.
Because you turn around and you say, oh my God, well, he really hates this stuff, right? Like take the pedophilia stuff that all these people, the conspiracy, right?
Oh, yeah.
Pedophilia is about the worst thing you can accuse someone of.
Yeah.
Right? Absolutely. We're saying.
So you know what? I thought it was too during the pandemic. I was called a pedophile for like a month solid, and I'm like, doesn't hurt anymore. Oh yeah,
it's a go-to play now.
Yeah.
It's a go-to play like that. So it's always that. It's you need to make the other person. You need to make the other side completely evil. You need to actually turn them into monsters. Right? You need to strip away their humanity. So it's derision. Right? It's denial. It's dehumanizing.
Is this gonna work though? Like, is it like honestly?
Is it working now? Well, dude, did you see the size of these white crowds?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, we'll see
snow in Sudbury this weekend.
Yeah, that's why I took a couple of notes what he was saying there, because you really have to listen to the rhetoric, right? So he's talking about division, right, in a crowd that is self-selected. Right. The reason there are no Black and Indigenous people and there are gay people in this crowd is not because they're not going. It's not like they're going to come up and they're going to say, "Hey, how about our stuff?" And they're going to be welcomed with open arms here.
It's not going to happen.
No,
right?
Not going to happen.
So it's always focusing the look on the other person, so you never take a look inward.
Yeah.
Right. So there's all these strategies, and the goal is to. So, for example, like Justin Trudeau, at the same time, for example, is a man that is so into celebrity culture, so into whatever it is that everybody doesn't like about him, is that he needs to be reminded to put his pants on to come to a debate because he won't survive. at the same time is an evil genius criminal mastermind who single-handedly controls the price of oil, inflation, has provoked Putin into invading Ukraine, and
Loves
whatever
China.
it is.
Yeah.
Loves
Yeah,
China. I mean, like this, and of course is racist. And of course, when you see the thing that they'll do all the time as well is when they make these references to racism or because that's a hint to blackface, and you see it online, the people that gleefully refer to his blackface share the photos of his blackface
constantly,
right? So this is it's
See,
an
I can't
opportunity to give
stand
themselves
Justin.
permission to share the
Really?
I can't stand him, but I've never thought of him as a racist. Like
No.
it just doesn't work with me.
Like all the
I mean,
things that he said, I wrote a piece about it, Locke, to your point. All the things that Pierre Poilievre said, and Justin Trudeau is a lot of things. He's a clout chaser. He's a virtue
dumb.
signaler. He's
dumb for the
performative.
blackface
He's
thing,
dramatic. Yeah, but he's not a racist, and he's not
No.
like a divisive asshole who wants to divide people into categories. Pierre Poilievre wants to do that. I don't know if you saw him chastise Jagmeet Singh, who said, hey, listen, big wealth is a big problem in this country. And Pierre Poilievre shot back yesterday, and he's like, well, the reason why we're so wealthy is because of all you poor people passing everything on to us. He blamed all the poor people for all the egregious wealth that sits in the hands of very few people in this country. It's like this guy is on top of and turns around shit that has everything to do with him and forces it on everybody else. Almost better than anyone I've ever seen.
I do want
in this country.
I do want to say something though.
Is it that you hate Justin Trudeau?
I hate Justin Trudeau. Okay, now no, listen. I watch. This is the other problem I have with politics. Is
this other one?
This other thing.
just one.
Okay, there is also a concerted effort on the part of the Liberal government to make sure they highlight anything that conservatives, and listen, I don't like any of them, but I see, so when I'm watching anything, I'm not watching it from a partisan perspective. I'm watching it from somebody who is unrepresented in this country. And that number is growing. And I am trying to figure out how I'm going to navigate the waters of knowing, like, I have this strong commitment to vote every year, but I am getting more and more disenfranchised by the minute with what I see from all sides.
Oh, yes.
I see like that question period, which, because I'm at home every once in a while and I'll put on the news and that'll be on.
You watch question
is
period?
Disgusting.
I got to shut it off after 30 seconds. I can't take it. It's like, honest to God.
It is so bad.
Dude, I watch
feel
Peaky
that
Blinders
thing.
instead. It's really good.
try
Don't
studying
watch
those if you need to
question
sleep.
period, for fuck's sakes. Are you
It's
serious,
just
dude? Your
makes
age
me
is showing.
angry.
I can't believe you just admitted to. Sometimes I'll be at home and I'll watch the little question
Sometimes
period
I'm
with
trying
my
to
team.
figure out what's wrong with the world, Dean.
Oh, dude, sorry. Apologize then.
It is. That's what's wrong with the world. They're not accomplishing anything.
No.
They do that. How many times a year do those assholes crawl into that fucking cave and do that stupid question period?
Well, you have to understand.
Hundreds of times.
You have to understand
Douglas?
that question period now, right, is your moment to get your 15 to 30 second soundbite that'll get on the 6 o'clock news.
That's all they're going for.
That's essentially what you're doing. It is the
What's it
highlight of
accomplishing?
It's like podcasting.
Very
It's like
performance.
podcasting. It's the
What's
same
it
thing as
accomplishing?
Yeah, but I mean,
They're not doing anything.
Well, it's not
think of
designed
it
to
as-
do anything.
Yeah,
right?
you just think of it as clickbait on CPAC.
That's exactly. Yeah, clickbait before the internet was a thing. You're absolutely right. I lived this life. That's all it is. When you see like because if you actually watched what they do on a daily basis, like when they're actually doing their jobs, you wouldn't watch that on TV because it's fucking boring.
No.
And it's very legislative. It's very fucking bureaucratic. It's very mundane. So when they get a chance to fluff the peacock feathers, they take it. And that's what question period is. It's got nothing to do with Lachlan. Think of it as a commercial for the party. That's all that is. It's got nothing to do with actual progress in what they do. They'll announce a bill there. Or,
to recap, the whole idea is, imagine it like a podcast, right? Like you and I, we do a podcast every day. It's like 2.5 hours long. I hope to get a good 30 seconds out of it.
Yeah.
Like, I really
yeah,
do.
You clip it. You clip.
I
these
hope we
shows
can
and-
get a couple of great clips and we can
Yep.
show people what we can do in small moments. And I hope that's representative of what we do, which is exactly
Yeah,
what
but we're
Question
fucking
Period is.
entertaining people.
Yeah, I know.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and we usually
That's
tell
what they
the
think
truth.
they're doing too.
Yeah, they do.
They're trying to get your attention.
Do
They're
they?
trying to get your attention. That's all
Yeah.
it is.
Is that
Yeah,
what they
you're
said, right?
you're putting way too much emphasis on the
Oh, it's all show.
constructiveness
Yeah.
in
It's
that.
got nothing to do with politics.
It's
It's
got
just like,
nothing to
hey,
do
look
with
at me. That's all it is. Douglas,
It's
go ahead.
literally
You wanted to
a
say
horse
something?
and pony.
Well,
Go
it's like they say, like politics is show business for ugly people, right?
Yeah.
Except that these days
Well
it's
said.
more ugly on the inside.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Mhm.
but you have to understand that the places where we're looking and the places that the media are showing to look are not the places where we should be looking. Like, for example, things that they constantly do. Like, for example, in an election race, they try to always make a horse race, even if there isn't one. Right now, we have a conservative leadership race going on. If you want a better democracy, you need better options on the table. All the parties are going to put someone forward like this that can be a prime minister, like this, or an option on the ballot for a prime
Sure as
minister.
hell isn't Skippy
right?
the Wonder Pigeon.
Like this, but every party gets to put one. So, for example, if you really don't want Skippy the Wonder Pigeon to be a possible viable option, because only about 40,000 people made Doug Ford an option for 16 million of us, right? Buy your $15 membership and vote like this, and make sure, like, if it's a preferential ballot, if you could leave him off the ballot, leave him off the ballot, put him dead last. The other people that are the same ilk, the Leslins and the Robin Babbers that just
Batshit crazy.
Oh yeah.
yeah. Like, just give yourself, it's $15. It's such a low price
Yeah.
to have the fun to reject them, because you're not going to get a chance to vote for him in his writing or not vote for him in his writing. This is your chance to vote, and this is where it happens. If you want an actual decent conservative option, is buy your membership and vote in the membership race. That's where the action happens.
I'd rather
Don't
not
go
give
to
him
the
15
area
bucks.
to watch the
That's very
parliamentary
true.
committees. That's where the action happens. That's where
That's
the
the
real
first time anybody is giving me any sort of constructive thing to do to be a part of the solution, as opposed to just yelling on a mic.
Well, you see what happened, right? Is think of politics as a business, right? The Reformicrons came in and they performed a hostile corporate takeover of a political party. Right? The Progressive Conservative Party of Canada used to belong to Canadians.
It doesn't
because
exist
It was
anymore.
hijacked and stolen from us. If you want the party back, moderate, fair-minded, reasonable Canadians, wherever they are, get your membership, vote. Anytime there's a party leadership vote, no matter what the party, vote. Vote for the best possible candidate, not the worst, not the one that you want your preferred guy to beat, because someone can win. The bad person can win. We just saw it south of us, and we just saw that there is a market for absolutely everything, even the most vile things. That's why there's a dark web. So when you sit there at home and you say, I can't believe this is selling, everything sells to someone. Absolutely everything.
Oh yeah.
I'm canceling my
point
Green
is-
Party membership.
And the point is all of this stuff, we look at them and they say, oh my God, they're stupid. I can't believe this. They're not stupid. These are concerted strategies, because the goal is to get reasonable, fair-minded, noble people to vacate the public square. And then when the cats are away, the mice will play. They want to make the scene so unbearable that we all check out. This is a deliberate strategy. So the thing is you roll up your sleeves, because democracy is something you do.
Yeah.
So these dicks
Vote
are
in
doing
every
this on
party
purpose.
leadership you can.
It's working. It's working.
Works
Yes.
for every party, dude.
Well,
the one that you just gave us an avenue to fight back. Like, Douglas just gave everybody
They
an
want to take
avenue.
back Canada. You take back the Progressive Conservative Party. Kick them out.
Absolutely.
Because this is an end run, right? So if whoever is the most moderate, reasonable, the person that you can leave alone with a pack of matches and you won't burn down the country and you can sleep safe at night, right? Soundly at night. That person, if that person wins, the Harper, Jetty, Byrne, whatnot cabal, that's gone.
Yep.
That's the final blade, the silver blade right in the heart of this freaking vampire.
Did you see what happened in France over the weekend where Macron absolutely smashed Le Pen? So the narrative is that is one of those dominoes that kind of starts to fall, where, the alt-right, that the idea that a lie and hate could be a viable alternative party.
Yeah.
Do you see that coming this way? Do you think that starts something here?
Yes, but it's already started. It hasn't made the news very much. People haven't heard it. But in Slovenia yesterday, I think there was a conservative party that had 3 terms. It's been taken away. Now there's a liberal party, the progressive party. They got tired of it. So it's happening. because we have at the moment a moment of juxtaposition, right? And this is when, when you're asking about the rolling thunder and whatnot, and will people do something? I do not.
Hey, don't shit on Rolling Thunder, dude. They're having a church service full of
yes,
by the way.
I don't foresee a situation in which nothing will be done, because we're in a world post February 24th now. Right? So we've seen oppression. We've seen freedom. Like we're seeing, I mean, the war crimes are just horrible.
Yeah.
What they're doing to the men and the children and the women and everything. And we know what freedom is. We know what oppression is. We're seeing it on our screens every single day. And put them side. Sometimes juxtaposition is the best argument.
Yeah, sanitizes, right? Like it sanitizes everything. We're seeing that now. I want to ask you guys this thing, because this happened today. We're talking about crazy, like legitimate batshit crazy political shit. Like you thought the Conservative Party of this country was beyond the pale of crazy. How about the Ontario Party and what they?
Oh my God!
Let me bring this to the fore, if you will. The Ontario Party announced today, Team Ontario is in it to win it. We're taking Ontario back. They welcomed Roger Stone, Ontario Party's senior strategic advisor. Derek Sloan, the human fucking erection, put out this release saying, I'm absolutely thrilled to announce my friend, the legendary American conservative political strategist, Roger Stone, a man whose name is synonymous with successful electoral campaigns, is joining our team as a senior strategic advisor for the Ontario Party, which was really supposed to be PPC, but one guy owned the purple for the logo and he wasn't going to give it back. And so now it's the Ontario Party. The press release is fucking staggeringly funny. Roger Stone, a man of synonymous with successful conservative political campaigns, Trump's 2016 upset victory, signed on to work for the Ontario Party as their senior strategic advisor. It goes on to lie about a whole bunch of shit. Randy Hilliard, Derek Sloan, and a couple of other douchebag, neocon, fascist, fuckstick, hillbilly, redneck losers are in this party. What do you make of this? Paul, why don't we go to you, and then we'll go to Douglas, because I have some thoughts, as I'm sure do we. More Americanizing of the Canadian institution, or what?
Completely. They're trying to turn it into the Republican Party to begin with, number one. And number two, Commander Waterford, or should I say Derek Sloan. I don't know if you've seen The Handmaid's Tale, but he looks just like Commander Waterford. He wants to turn Ontario into Gilead. I mean, these people are a few bricks short of a load to begin with, and they will do everything in their power to strip your rights from you. They're evangelical, right-wing nut jobs. Roger Stone has been convicted of how many crimes? Can he even come
31.
to Canada?
Yeah,
31.
31 crimes.
Why would 31 crimes? And you're gonna, hey, we're proud to have this guy on board.
This makes
what the
no
hell
sense.
is wrong with you?
He's got a tattoo of Nixon on his back.
I
Too.
saw
Huge
that.
one. His whole back.
His whole back is a Nixon tattoo.
I have a tattoo of Reagan on mine, so everybody wins.
I have Pierre
Maggie
Trudeau.
Thatcher right now.
I won't tell you where, though. I do know that they don't know what the word synonymous means. As you can tell in that release, because he says he's synonymous with successful campaigns.
That's not the dumbest thing in that release.
No,
That's true.
That's the thing. I mean, we can poke fun at the misuse of a word, but that's crazy, right? It's clinically insane.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Agreed.
To announce him as a strategic part of your party.
He's not
in a foreign fucking country.
Yeah.
It doesn't make any sense.
What have we been saying
all.
since the beginning of this, boys?
Are they trying to shoot themselves in the foot?
They're trying to know there's a certain part of evangelical theocratic Canada that wants Canada to become America, and this is the bleed over from that. It's like
really, eh?
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like, like when my dad would fart in the basement for like hours on end watching golf, and you'd walk down to the basement and it started to smell halfway down the stairs. That's what's happening here. It's starting to smell halfway down the stairs. Douglas, what do you make of Roger Stone joining Team Ontario?
My first thought was thank you next. It's just not worth talking. The second thing is the phenomenon under it is literally the grift is on, right?
Mhm.
Okay, the Convoy showed everybody like where the money is, and the reasons why the Conservatives are going batshit, even though all the polls are saying that Canadians want them to pick someone more moderate, and they're like really, really trying to take a step right, is because when that convoy happened, they saw about $20 million they thought was theirs.
Mm-hmm.
They said that's our money. and it's going somewhere else.
That's what
And
I
instead
said.
of
I said
following the
we're going to
voter-
go far, far right because they got a sniff of that cash. They were like, hold on, what
Look-
happened?
Yeah.
Like,
And
yeah. You
so
start comparing how much money these parties can raise individually.
Mhm.
And you start looking at how much even Justin Trudeau raised, and then you take a look at that GoFundMe, and they're sniffing money. That's all that is.
They
That's
raise
why there's a
more.
huge shift to the right from the conservative movement. Like, I mean,
and this demographic donates a lot.
because they're
Yeah,
crazy.
They're
crazy
angry and
ones.
they're crazy.
They donate a lot. They donate often. So I mean, you have to understand that it's for these parties. It's not about governing, right? They don't want to govern. They want the fundraising dollars, right? And they want us to subsidize it very generously via the political donation tax credit. Like we're paying for this stuff, right? It is the thing that the Conservative Party does when they talk and they go to a mic and they talk about Canadians like this, and they talk like abusively. I mean, this is an abusive relationship about 66% of the country, and then you get the PPCs in them, and then you get all these people. You know, it's the ugly sells. And it makes money, and it's not about governing. If you look at the Conservative Party of Canada, there has been no policy platform since Harper's 5 Promises.
For years. Yeah.
No,
There's been no
there's a platform. We hate Justin.
Yeah, that's the only
But
platform.
there's no policy
Yeah.
platform.
Yeah.
There's no policy platform. That's all they got is they keep on pushing the red button. Make
Well-
you angry, make you angry, it's very like Pavlov with, you press the button, you get your little grain of food, your little grain of anger. He does
And
it.
anger
Just then you
sells
press the
like
button again.
crazy. It
Oh, yeah.
sells like
Outrage.
crazy.
So it's not about governing.
When I
That's
used to
what
hit the
Linz-
button, I'd get cocaine. That was a way better reward.
Lindsay,
if
you wanted
they
to say
happen to
something? Sorry. Go ahead.
And if
Look
they
at what
happen to-
we. Sorry, go ahead.
And if they happen to look into winning, well, then they get to just politically rape and pillage.
Yeah.
And exact revenge for all the people who stuffed them into lockers when they were teenagers, I guess.
And
I don't
reward
know.
all those other neocons that promoted them and helped them ascend to that position of authority, right? Yeah, I get it. Lynn, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. My bad.
Yeah. me
No,
too.
it's okay. It's the what's entertaining at this point is watching the party diehards that hear this Roger Stone announcement. The only reason why they know him is because of Donald Trump, because they think that everything's the same here. And the best part is they're never going to see the guy. He might come to a Zoom meeting.
That
And
would
they
be
might
the extent of it.
publicize that. But what we've done, or what they've done, this Ontario First Party has done, is they've paid to use his name and use his picture. And that's all they need to do. So Roger Stone is not going to lift a finger. Roger Stone probably couldn't pick out Ontario on a map.
Agreed.
And he's never coming here.
Yep.
And the fact, like, I had an argument yesterday. I don't know if you guys caught it on Twitter with a segment producer for Tucker Carlson from Fox News.
Yeah.
No, I
One
didn't
of
see
the
that.
Greg Ray or something, I think their name is.
Is this him?
Yeah, that's them. Because I just posed a question: why all of a sudden is Fox News so enamored with Canadian municipal politics? Because that's what Ottawa this weekend is. It's a municipal issue. There's an enforcement problem, right? And nobody can answer it. Nobody can. The convoy was worldwide news. It's like, I understand, but this isn't the convoy. This is a bunch of bikers. Why does Tucker Carlson give a shit about what's going on in Ottawa? And nobody can answer the question. So what we're seeing is like you say, it's the American takeover. It's the evangelical takeover. And Dean, your analogy of the farts wafting is exactly what it is. It started before the convoy.
You're welcome.
It started, it intensified. That's when the Bush's baked beans kicked in, was the convoy. And now
It smells
someone needs to get the Febreze out, because now we're talking like that. This is as much as we're gonna laugh at it, this is a significant move.
Oh yes,
for a
no, it is. It
political-
is.
Yeah.
It is.
For a political
What?
party to
Yeah.
use an American operative.
It's not going to work. Please tell me it's
Oh,
not going to
no,
work.
dude,
It
it's
won't work.
It's Ontario, but you know what it might
This
do?
is a fundraising thing.
It might well, yeah, it's
That's all it is.
it's here for two things. Derek Sloan and Randy Hillier are out of jobs, so they're looking for fucking work and money, and they hooked onto the fast train in the United States because they share those same theocratic, hateful ideologies. Right, same thing. They're evangelical extremist zealots, and I fucking hate their guts. I hate all their guts. Just so you know, it's not just those guts I hate. All the extremist evangelical guts I hate, including some family members. So there's that part of it. But this is fascinating to me for two reasons. One is it's Roger Stone, and it's going to add some star power and the fun, and fuck, the guy's insane, so we're going to get great content out of it,
Great
and I'm just here
content.
for the content. So there's that. The other thing it might do, and I could be wrong, is it crazy to assume that the extremists involved in Ontario Proud or, we're superwhite.com, whatever it is, could peel off some of those extremist votes that Dougie's been pandering to with getting rid of restrictions and mandates? Yes, you think
They
so?
could possibly get a couple of seats out of it, right? It's entirely possible they could get a couple of seats.
Well, what's interesting, and Douglas, you sort of alluded to this, that we have been forced into this sort of I can't remember the wording, but we're so upset that we're avoiding politics, or so anybody with any sort of reasonable approach to life, any sort of balance of common sense in how they think is getting pushed to the side. And your suggestion is, listen, if you're in that boat, you need to fight back by actually becoming part of the process.
You need to hold space. We were here first.
Yes. Yeah. And the other thing, and this is something that I've seen, and this is part of my issue with politics as well, is, and again, I don't know whether or not there's a solution to this, but this is part of our frustration here in Alberta, is we never vote in somebody that's worthy of the position. That's why these strategies kind of work in Canada politically, where they just sit there and wait for their opportunity, because eventually Canada is just going to get so angry. We're just going to vote the other guy in no matter what they say. And that's what happens in Alberta.
At least they weren't this shit. Let's go back to the other shit. And then they tried the other shit, and they're like, I forgot how shit this was too. Let's get other shit.
That's how we do it. Nobody gets a position in politics in this country that they deserve. They get it based on how sick we are of the person that's running the current party or holding the current seat. That happens constantly.
Yeah, that's a common thing in politics. In politics, in Canada in particular, we don't vote governments in, we vote governments out. And the thing on the federal level, however, with the Conservatives, it's become such that the Conservatives now, at least with what they're doing now, can only win by default. It's when familiarity breeds contempt for the government and power, like this, because again, it's been the same playbook. They keep on thinking, okay, this time Justin Trudeau really screwed up, so this time we can just pile on enough to win. And it's not enough, because I understand, I understand the beef that people have with Justin Trudeau, but you have to understand that in politics, right? It's like Jason Kenney said, but he said it in a terrible way. You compare your choices to each other, not the Almighty, right? There is no perfect candidate. Now, of course, Jason Kenney doesn't want you to compare him to the Almighty because, well, anyway, but
he is a Bible school dropout.
It's like, yeah, I don't want people to compare you to the Almighty, but yes, Justin Trudeau can be annoying to some people because of the virtue signaling and whatnot. But again, we're in a world post February 24th.
Yeah.
I would rather have somebody signal something virtuous than tell me that 66% of the country
doesn't know what they want.
They're crazy. They're nuts. They're they want to divide everybody.
Well, if you've got some time, I can sit down and we can create a list of reasons to hate Justin Trudeau outside of the virtue signaling.
There are.
I understand what you're saying, but
what I'm saying is that we keep on looking at the guy that will do this and the guy that will do that. And I think one of the things we fundamentally have to remember, like this, and I think we learned this in the United States with having President Joe Biden, you first have to elect someone you at least thinks likes the people that they're going to represent, all of them. And there's one party that has outright contempt and disdain. And even if you are a conservative like this, you're going to be sharing this country with a bunch of people or other you. Do you really want to live in a country where the people that are speaking in your name, that are being funded on your dime, are trashing all your friends who happen to not have the same political opinion as you? And we pay
Douglas,
for it. We
Yeah.
pay
That's
for
right.
it.
That's right.
Have you heard the rumors about Jason Kenney?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's right-handed, not left-handed, as he's been letting on.
Wearing
for all
a
this.
watch on his wrong hand.
He's Canadian. He has a girlfriend in Canada.
Yeah.
Douglas, you're the best. Douglas, Paul, the True North Eager Beaver podcast, now part of the
Fantastic
DeanBlundell.com network. The interesting thing is when you go and listen to this, and I have listened to the last, I would say, 4 episodes, and I haven't caught up on the latest. I think you dropped one tonight, if I'm not mistaken. Is
Yeah,
that correct?
I loaded it up this afternoon.
Yeah.
Actually, I was able to
It's
get
out
it
now?
Actually, I listened to it today.
did you?
As soon as it hit, I
So
listened
good.
to it this afternoon at work. Oh, I love these guys.
Yeah.
The
But
amount
here's-
of
here's the
of
thing.
iterations that they have for Pierre Poilievre's name is my favorite part of that podcast. Just saying.
Well, let me get to
Brilliant.
it. Your Mr. Douglas is Mr. Beaver,
Yes.
and Paul is Mr. Grizzly.
Mr. Grizzly.
And they call each other Mr. Beaver and Mr. Grizzly for the whole fucking podcast.
It's great.
And I was listening to it and I'm like, is this too weird for us? And then I
No.
realized, no, we're too weird for everybody, which means these guys are fucking perfect for what we're
Right.
doing.
It's
Right.
when we start bringing out the magic mirror and saying that we see you that it starts to get a little weird.
And there's something I want to actually steal from now on. The way
What's
that
that?
we'll present something like we put those letters up today, Dean, and you put
Yeah.
the Ontario announcement up.
That's right.
When they actually quote things, they read it as though they're the people reading it, like the people that wrote it. Like, and it's almost like they're telling you a story. It's a great way to consume shitty news,
Yeah.
like really bad things.
And a
The
lot
way
of
they
them are
present
bad.
it with some humor.
Oh, it's
with
awesome.
It's clarity. It's actually, Lachlan, you would love their podcast 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna
Oh,
check
it's
it
so
out for
good.
sure.
You know what it
amazing.
does is it makes the stress that we're experiencing watching all this. You guys do
Yeah.
the very best job de-stressing it, making it interesting, informing us, being totally fucking weird about it the whole time.
It's amazing.
And I'm like, I love these guys. And listen, if you
Yeah.
know anything about both of these guys, they're true blue. They're good individuals, and they want the same thing that we want, which is we want certain people in this country to stop fucking lying to us. We want certain influential people in this country to start trying to take an interest in what the greater good is all about. And that is such a good entry level podcast. And it's not even entry level. I mean, if you're just pissed off, if you're disenfranchised, but
Yeah.
you really feel like you want to
I
take your
am.
country back, listen to these guys. It's the True North Eager Beaver
great.
podcast. Mr. Beaver is Douglas. Mr. Grizzly is Paul because he's got the
Douglas,
grizzly
thank
voice.
you. Thank
Oh,
you. You put a bow on a couple of things for me today, and I appreciate that because these guys know I've been really struggling with where we're at
He hates Trudeau.
politically.
Apparently, he hates.
I
Justin
hate them
Trudeau.
all. I hate them all. They make me so angry. I just
Just ask him.
If I can leave you with a thought, it's a quote. I don't remember who said it, but one of the reasons we do it, we say it every now and then. We sometimes put it in our ads and stuff. When you're angry, right, it presses a button, right, and you have all these chemicals going through your body, and it impedes your ability to stop and think rationally and straight. You know, am I being sold a bill of goods? Am I being lied to? It's they bypass all of that and go to that rah part of you. There are people that have a vested interest in wanting us to be angrier than we need to be. Right? We have it pretty damn freaking good. So, you know,
hallelujah.
a little gratitude in the
I
attitude.
mean-
But the reason why we laugh, and even about things like we had an episode called The Butcher of Butcha, which is there's nothing fun
No, it's
about what that's going on.
It's about terrible, terrible things.
But we laugh because when you laugh, it prevents you from getting into a place where you start demanding that evil be committed against people that you don't agree with in turn in order to solve the problem. We can't go there.
No,
It always
You're
has
right.
your humor.
Well, you can say that you can't go there, but I might dip my foot in the evil pool from time to time.
Fuck, I live there. I've got a fucking tent.
Douglas, Paul, True North Eager Beaver podcast. Absolutely my pleasure to have you guys here today. Sorry
Thanks,
it's
guys.
taken a bit.
Thanks.
Don't forget
No
to
worries.
subscribe to the podcast wherever you get your podcast. You can follow both these guys. Paul is at
True
Paulie's
North
World on
Eager
Twitter. He's a
Beaver.
great follow as well. I'm sure you'll cover I'm sure you'll cover everything in Ottawa this weekend. Good luck at the
Oh, yeah.
church service, guys. Don't forget to get your free tube of Canestin at the Rolling Thunder Biker Church service, 10:30 a.m. Capital City Bikers Church. There you go, fellas. Thanks.
I'll have my
Preston
blue
with a
jacket
giant
on the
Canestin.
hill on Saturday morning. I'll be in the blue jacket on the hill making.
All right. Well, dude, I'll call you. We'll do a live show. Dude, we
Cool.
can't not go live on Convoy weekends.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
gotta do it.
shit.
All right, good. Well, guys, love you both. Thanks so much for doing this. We'll talk
Thanks,
to you soon.
brother.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Oh, they're on
boys.
Spotify too. They're on
Oh, yeah.
Spotify.
Yeah, yeah.
Wherever,
It's a
wherever you
fucking
get your
great
fine
Thanks
podcast.
to you guys.
Yeah.
Yeah. You're the king.
All right.
Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon. There you go, Douglas and Paul from
just
the
followed
True
them.
North Eager Beaver podcast. Such a good group of guys. They do
Yeah.
such a good job breaking things down.
Thank you for that, Dean. Thank you.
Yeah.
I needed that. I really did.
I know. You know what? It's just funny because I was talking to Ryan. Ryan came over this weekend. We barbecued. Well, he barbecued his food at my house.
It was a
We
good
had
time.
Excellent time.
I'm
Chicken
still
skewers.
hungover.
Yeah. You were deep.
You and
But
I are
it's-
going to have a good time together, Ryan.
I know
It's
we are.
interesting. It's interesting because Ryan came over and I'm like, you know what Lachlan reminds me? Because we were talking about you behind your back. We had to, right?
I'm okay with it.
So we're just talking about you and how we're looking forward to seeing you. You're coming to Toronto in a couple of weeks. We're going to go to a Jays game.
Jays
We're gonna
Yankees, baby.
tie one on. We got Jays Yankees tickets.
It's
thanks to
next
Lachlan.
week.
It's
Yeah.
next week. Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
That quick.
Yeah.
You got to say a
Fuck,
couple
it's
weeks.
just around- Yeah, it's
Oh, sorry.
next week. It's next
Yeah. Next
Tuesday. I'll
Tuesday.
be in
Yep.
Toronto. We'll be
Yep.
eating steak and going to a Jays game.
Can't wait. I got the reservation taken care of, gentlemen.
Boom.
But it was fascinating because we were sitting around talking to the point, and I said, you know what Lachlan is? Because if you haven't been out west, you don't understand the mentality. Everybody out there hates Justin Trudeau. They hate the prime minister, all that stuff. But tell them about the Tim Hortons crowd, like the coffee shop crowd in the morning. All the guys over 50 sitting around going, fuck, I hate this. That's you. But you do the Tim Hortons bitch fest, Western Canada bitch fest, right here on the show. But during the bitch fest, you also take in information, unlike a lot of people who hate Justin Trudeau, right? Like I've started to have to take in information because I'm like, I can't possibly hate all these people. Like I don't have enough room in my heart to hate the NDP, to hate. So I dislike the entire institution of politics. But if you really boil it down, and I'm the guy that wrote an article that says Justin Trudeau is a national embarrassment and he needs to leave now. That was about a year ago. I still feel the same way.
Yeah.
But my God, I would be petrified if Jagmeet Singh was the prime minister. I would be petrified if anybody with the Conservative Party was the prime minister. Fucking petrified at this point. So
You know,
I share your disgust. However,
I don't know about that one.
it's like, you know. the
No,
conservative-
you know what?
no?
Do you know what? The conservative one, like he was talking about, like let's buy memberships and take the party back.
Fuck it up.
John Charest's not a bad dude. John Charest's a pretty left leaning conservative. You know, like he's a progressive
Yeah.
conservative.
Yeah.
He turned like
He hasn't got a hope in hell,
And,
Linz.
and when you
It's
hear
going to be
these,
poutine.
when you hear these guys, when you hear these extreme views from everybody, and you bring up John Charest's name, you bring up anybody's name that is progressive, fuck that guy. He's a fucking liberal. Fuck. That's who you vote for. That's who needs to be the leader. Because he's still going to be a fiscal conservative. He's just better on social policies than the KKK.
And he's not a cock.
Exactly.
We need to get a handle on the fiscal side of things. I mean, I don't think
Absolutely.
that needs to be said out loud. I mean, what the coalition is doing right now. That's twice I got it in today. What the coalition
Do you know what it's called, Lachlan?
is
or no?
getting-
Do you remember what it's called, or did you like
Do we
burn
have
it into
to?
your head that it's a
Do we
coalition?
have to? Do we have to
it,
do this
it's
today?
just too much fun.
No,
Okay,
yeah,
we
but
won't
you're
do it.
doing
We won't do it.
yeah.
Coalition.
We
I
won't
don't
do
wanna
it.
because we got
Fine.
so much to get to still. Like I've got this
Okay,
video.
hold on.
I don't know if you
I
guys
just
saw
like
it.
when my friend-
I don't like when my friends look dim. Like when my friends are looking dim.
Well, you
by
fucking
saying
better
things,
get used to it. You and I are
I
friends, and I'm a doornail. So
I try to help them. I don't
No,
try to
I
make
know
fun
you
of
don't.
you all the time.
I know.
no, don't. You
Okay,
know what?
so
Buy me
Locke,
beer.
you had something you wanted to get out, and then we'll go. We'll move on to
Yes.
Putin and Elon Musk. Okay, go ahead.
My residence in this country has nothing to do with my hatred for Justin Trudeau. I don't listen. You're discrediting my hatred for him by just saying that just because Locke lives in Alberta and there's lots of Tim Hortons, he must hate Justin Trudeau. No, if I was fucking living in Slovenia right now, I would hate him just as much. It's not a
bailiwick.
location. It has nothing to do with a location, Dean.
Story. Okay. Story.
Okay.
Yes,
All
it
right.
does.
Let's move on.
Yes, it does.
Okay. Speaking of
You were
dim-witted assholes,
You were bred to hate liberals right from the fucking childhood. So stop lying.
did you see
Your
this
parents
video?
told you to hate them.
Did you see, before we spring on to Elon
Parents are
Musk,
idiots.
which is going to take a while because Elon bought Twitter today? Did you see this video of Vlad, by the way? Did you see this video of Vlad Putin?
I'm not a doctor.
There's a post at deanblundell.com. It's I'm not a doctor, but Vlad Putin absolutely has Parkinson's disease, according to this video. Let me just play this.
Can I
for you.
see it?
Yeah, I'm
Can
going
I
to play
see the
it for
video?
you.
Okay.
Yeah, for sure.
Dr.
Let
I
me
haven't
play it
seen
for you.
this.
Because it's interesting in the terms of, I've sent this to probably 7 or 8 different doctors, including ones that have or have not appeared on this very program that we trust. And they said, what you're about to see here is something called a neurological disorder. Hard to believe that Vlad may have after invading a country for no apparent reason other than just to show his dick, his little tiny Russian pecker. That he may have a neurological disorder. Note the shake.
What?
Note the Parkinson's, full-on fucking Parkinson's shake. And this video was not supposed to be released. You know who sent it to me? Alex de Rebecca.
Alex de
in
Rebecca.
Ukraine.
Of course
He's
he
like,
did.
you have to post this. He's like, you got to post this. He calls him Pootler. He's like, Pootler's got some neurological diseases. Here it is. Look at this guy. Look at the shake. We'll start it. Look at, see that? Look at that. Right at the start.
Well, it's even in his walk. It's even in his walk. Watch his step.
Yeah, watch this.
Is he talking to somebody though?
Yeah, that's the president of Belarus. They're hugging because they're going to die together. Did you see that though, dude? Look at this. I'm going to put this full screen so everybody can see it. I want you to watch him take his. He's got his hands together. He was holding onto a table for like 12 minutes in an interview the other day, would not let go of the table. Everybody was like, the dude's got some kind of fucking condition. Didn't know if it was pain related, wasn't too sure. But this neurological disorder he has is, according to most doctors that I've talked to today, they said it highly likely it's Parkinson's. But I want you to watch really carefully the start of this video. He takes his hands apart and he cannot stop shaking. And then he puts his hand down because he realizes, oh my God, there are TV cameras and I look like I've got Parkinson's, which he does. And watch this. It's fucking unbelievable. It really is.
Leave the full screen. Yeah, he pulls it in. Oh, yeah, I missed that.
It's still shaking when it's in its.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. And you can see like he's cognizant of it. And he like rips it to his chest. Like
same hand he was hanging on to that table.
Well,
with,
and it's the wobble in the step that's more of a sign, a signet. Like when he goes to take a step forward, watch. He's got a bit of a hitch in his knee. That's, to me, that's more of a sign than the
Michael J.
hand,
Fox
because
has
he could just be using his hand, like a lot of people speak with their hands, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that to me, it was like, maybe not. But then the walk over.
It's the lock. It's the lock to his chest that gets right there.
Mm-hmm.
And then that little hitch right there.
Yeah, it looks like he's about to go over.
Mm-hmm.
He went. Remember, he went missing there for a while, and it was right at the beginning of the conflict, and nobody could find him. And he wasn't able to be found for comment. He wasn't doing any sort of addresses, and they said it was illness related. Like people that are close to him, like ex-Kremlin officials, say he's very sick. Like he's very sick. And that's why they think he went so full scale on this war, was because he wants to see his beloved USSR before he dies.
So do you think that he is undergoing any? Probably. I mean, with his kind of money, he's probably undergoing some experimental treatments. If this is a thing, if for whatever he has, he might be, because there are some experimental.
Parkinson's treatments,
yes.
They're interesting that you say that, because in a lot of different MS is a great one. Yes,
they've actually cracked that. That's some breaking news that we've missed over the last 3 weeks. By the way, they've cracked something with MS huge in the last 3
Well,
weeks.
hopefully
Was
they-
it
if
related
that's
to
what
the
he has.
stem cell? Stem cell?
Stem cell, yeah.
If that's what he has, I hope they don't let him have any of that. I hope they
I'm
don't
sure.
give him the key to
Some-
that
s-
kingdom.
I still think someone's
Rizzo
going to
there
kill
in the
him.
comments actually said something really, really funny. It's a neat observation. Is Hitler also had Parkinson's, and he did. That was a confirmed diagnosis for Hitler.
Also,
Well,
a tiny pecker in one nut, and
Yeah.
there's rumors that he has a tiny pecker in one nut as well.
Hopefully, he has a bunker too. Just saying.
Hopefully
Well,
he gets it in the bunker.
You know what though? I believe that you create these things in certain situations. Like I mean,
Do you think
listen,
he gave himself Parkinson's? Because
No
one of the
doubt.
rumors
I
was
think
that
he-
he has a. So that's what I wanted to get to.
Mhm.
Is
this kind of
he-
stress.
all these pictures that you're seeing with him, they're uncovering like a neurosurgeon that travels with him all the time, like a team
Yeah.
of doctors that travel with him all the time, which is very odd, right? It's only been in the last couple of years that's happened. That was one of the things. And the other thing that I read the other day is that he's really close with the Orthodox Christian Church head, this guy named Kirill. And he took him at the start of the thing. They went up into the mountains, sacrificed a black wolf, and ate a feather or finger banged each other's bungholes or something like that in some kind of weird ritual. So that was the other thing that I had heard. Like he's seeking any treatment he can because he's very sick and he might die.
Yeah.
Here's to hoping.
Well, you know.
You know what?
what I
I
always-
don't think anybody that is planning any sort of advanced step in that regard should quit. Like if there is an attempt being put behind the scenes from the Russian people or Ukraine or the Western world, I hope they continue, regardless of this video or any rumors about any diseases. Because the sooner that man is no longer on this in the world that we live in, the better off we are all going to be. They need
Agreed.
to they need to kill him.
And when pieces of shit like this end up with some sort of a diagnosis, it's one of the things I've become accustomed to saying is, well, I
enjoy it.
pray and hope that it's not something trivial. So I pray and hope for the sake that this is
Like
not
you hope
something
this
trivial.
isn't just malaria.
I hope this isn't just some
that he can
weird.
shake off.
You know when you get
Yeah.
like a twitch. You know when you get
Yeah,
like
yeah.
a muscle twitch in your eye.
Yeah, I get it.
Good people get those.
when I'm
So
really
Twitter
hungover
bot-
and a little bit dehydrated sometimes.
Sometimes you get the
That was
shakes,
me
right?
driving home on Sunday.
So from my house, yeah, you got.
Oh
lit.
my god.
So one of the things that happened today, which blew my mind, Elon Musk bought Twitter. This was breaking news at like 8:00 this morning. Twitter to accept Elon Musk's $45 billion bid to buy the company. Hello. So just so you know, this guy bought Twitter today.
It's still not confirmed though. They're saying they've now accepted their position.
That's a
to
good weave.
Consider
That's
the
sweet.
offer.
Yeah.
So whereas before they were vehemently opposed, now they're saying, well, maybe.
Yeah,
So-
no, they're into it. You don't
I think so.
listen. And
money.
here's the thing
Money
is
talks,
that $45 billion offer, it's 43.45, 46.5 is the number that I heard. 46.5 billion to buy Twitter. So that offer, my understanding, is and was contingent on financing. Now, on the weekend, Elon Musk was able to secure loans against Tesla, loans against SpaceX, loans against the Boring Company to get that 46 billion because he doesn't want to buy it with his own money. Of course, no one wants to buy something with their own money. Use the bank's money. And the banks are all like, dude, you're going to have to give us $1 billion a year just to service the debt you're going to incur. Of course, we'll give you that deal. And if you can't afford it, what we're going to do is take it from you in chunks. So
Yep.
fuck off, right? And the fascinating part to me is that everybody that is hearing the news of Twitter being purchased by Elon Musk, if indeed it does go through, now that they are negotiating in good faith, they have the ability to negotiate with other people too, which is what they said this morning in their release. We're going to negotiate with Elon Musk. It is a good offer. It's 54% above market value or stock value. So they get that huge bump. And every single real estate guy in there was like, we'll take it because we love money, right? If you're in the stock market, you're not in it because you love what you bought. You're in it because you see the financial projection and the upside. So what he did was he bought that and everybody was like, yeah, I want 54% value over and top whatever my Twitter stocks are worth today. And when he got the financing, they said, okay, this is legit. Let's negotiate with him. I'm watching a lot of people go, I'm leaving Twitter today. I'm watching a lot of people go, nah, this is all going to be about hate speech. I don't know that it is. And I don't know that it can be because he has to make money or he's going to lose the platform. So it's not like he's going to turn it into an echo chamber for hate shit. Like, he's not like he's going to, at least in my guesstimation. And today he was like, hey, listen, I think I want everybody to stay. This was his first tweet. It was a lie, but it was his first tweet. I hope that even my worst critics remain on Twitter, because that is what free speech means, which is really odd when you think about it, because he spent millions trying to bury stories about himself. Like, he sued this guy named Jim Tripp who worked for him. Jim Tripp was an employee at Tesla who said, hey, whistleblowing here. There's rampant racism going on, and he's stealing tech. And
is that the guy you swatted?
Yeah. He swatted the guy.
What's swatting mean?
Ryan, can you explain it real quick?
He phoned the police and told them that I can't remember the exact
stealing
accusation.
state secrets and
no, but it was something violent as well. It was some violent thing, almost like the pizza gate.
That's
bullshit.
what the video guys do. But video gamers do. Cops are the guys that are winning.
His private investigators that he had hired, they were goons, and they set this up. And the guy actually was swatted and was like taken. Like, the police came and kicked his door down. And yeah, I just think it's funny that he upped the offer an extra $3 billion to get people to stop sharing the photo of him and Ghislaine Maxwell. Like really, $3 billion? We've all seen it. It's fine, bud.
Yeah,
Sit
we
down.
know you hung out with Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell. We know that you guys. Oh yeah,
I didn't know that.
Best friends.
I didn't know. Okay.
Well, now you know.
Oh yeah, the Epstein thing is chasing him. The swinger club shit is chasing him. The orgy shit is chasing him. And he's like,
what do you think he's into?
$3 billion more? Oh fuck, the weird shit. I think he's into Shizer shit. Like, I think he's into.
Yeah, there was a rumor about the shit stuff.
Yeah,
he wants to be pooed on.
Yeah, he is a poo thing.
See, I don't really want that ever.
No,
this guy
looks
here,
like somebody that likes getting pooed on.
Did you know he's bald? Did you know Elon Musk was bald?
He was.
I didn't know he was until this weekend. I started Googling pictures of Elon Musk when he was younger.
I've seen those balding pictures. Yeah,
I haven't seen them to this point. And I'm like, holy fuck, this guy is just a performative dick, right?
Yeah.
Like, which is why I didn't think the Twitter takeover would work, because I thought, oh, he's just fucking trying to make money. He's just being a dick. He's just bullying his way around. But he actually took it over. Here's the thing he also said today, which I found interesting. He's going to get rid of Twitter's spam bots, like all the fucking Russian bots and stuff like that.
That I'm in for.
Which is why I'm like, fuck, if he does that, and if he rewards real human beings with authentication, and if he decides to turn it into a paid model, because it's the best news marketplace in the world. It is like, sure, is it just filled with all kinds of garbage and shit? Is it like trying to find a truffle in the forest? Yeah, sometimes
Absolutely.
It is. But if you use it properly and you follow the right sources, you get news and information days ahead of major news outlets.
Absolutely.
Right?
You know why? Because you're following the actual journalists that are doing the work, right? So before it hits that cutting floor in the editor's room, the journalists are always live blogging what they're doing. So you'll get the actual story direct from the source. Then it goes to the editor, which puts it through the political filter and who's paying us this week filter and the fucking mainstream media filter. And then it gets watered down. But the actual journalist themselves is probably still a pretty good fucking journalist.
Yeah.
And you get the story right from them, right from the source.
Look at Alex.
Yeah.
Right. Like, he's in the Ukraine. He's put a video up of
Ukraine.
Something on. Yeah, I got to just say Ukraine.
Stop it.
He put a video out this morning where, we're seeing that news. Like, yeah, I got up, on my phone first thing, and that was one of the first things I saw this morning. And you have to do the work on your end to vet what to make sure that you see the information you want to see. But having said that, I don't understand the anger towards Elon Musk in purchasing Twitter. You can dislike him.
Let me show you. Let me show you what the anger is, because this is what the woke left. And listen, that is a fucking problem. And he is right. He is right about that. And he's not right about it to the extent that a lot of fucking hard righties think that he's right about it. Right. So, to that point, I think this is it. Is this it? No,
he has a point. He has a point about the overly woke.
Oh, totally.
Did you see the poll I put out last week about that?
No.
Who's more insufferable, is the alt-right or the ultra-woke left? And I got fucking smoked by the lefties.
Fuck them.
If you follow me, you know exactly where I lean. And I had to sit people down virtually here and say, listen, if you weren't so fucking triggered, you'd realize that we're ideologically the same people.
Yeah.
But you're really just because I asked a question, and I even put woke in quotes, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because people think
Well,
it's
they
a
hate it.
slur if a right-wing person calls somebody that's liberal like woke, they that's
Oh, dude, the
you're
alt-right
using it as
takes-
you're using it as pejorative. It's a slur.
Yeah.
It's like fuck
Dude,
you.
the alt-right takes insults way better than the woke left.
100%.
Like I get
100%.
shit all over the alt-right, and they're like, fuck you. But
We're
if you say
funnier,
something
but
to
they
the
take the insults
oh yeah,
better.
and I'm
Yeah.
like aggressive towards every part, like the fucking alt-left and the alt-right. I could give two fucks, but for every insult I throw at an alt-right person, I'll get 10 replies. For every insult I throw at some overly woke cock that thinks the whole world should be androgynous and full of pussies, I get 500 complaints.
Yep.
Right? Because
That's
they're
what
like,
happened
we
to
don't
me.
want, which is what we're talking
I just
about here.
block 'em.
When you get to Elon Musk, this is the thing. So I actually believe that he's going to make Twitter better. I really do.
Do
I
you?
think this-
Okay.
yeah, I do.
That's
I think it's
interesting,
to some
'cause-
extent, he needs to make this work because he's put his dick out right in the open and it's flapping in the wind. So there's
1/5.
that, right?
1/5 of his entire wealth. he's
1/5
put into this.
of everything that he's made. He's like, fuck,
Yeah.
okay, here, I'm all in. So he kind
I
of
think
has
it's
to make it
smart.
work.
I
do
think
too.
I think he's
But-
brilliant.
Two things that I think he's also doing here, right? I think he can accomplish making it a better place, but I think he's also intending on accomplishing keeping his world as free as possible. His ability to speak freely, not anybody else's. I think it's him. And this is why I'm saying that. This is Nicole Pear. She's a writer for the Post. She says she's old enough to remember when Elon Musk ordered his private investigators to make a Tesla employee's life a living hell, including having the employees swatted for tipping off a reported waste at a Tesla factory. The employee had to move his family to Hungary for safety.
Yeah.
This is Mr. Tripp, who we were just talking about, by the way.
Yeah.
And not only that, this is what he does on a regular basis. Elon Musk tweets a meme likening Justin Trudeau to Hitler in a criticism of the Freedom Convoy crackdown. If you remember, he was a huge fan of this fake hate train without actually educating himself, and he gave huge gusto to that fucking hate movement.
$30,000 donation too, openly.
$42,000.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought it was
donation.
30,000
420.
Yeah.
It was
420.
420. Yeah.
So, like, that is the kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff you should be worried about. Is what he's going to be allowed to do that no one else is going to be allowed to do because he owns it, right? Like, and it stands to reason. If he owns it, he can do what he wants with it. If you own your fucking house lock and you want to paint it purple today and be an eyesore to everybody in the community, you
Sounds like something you do.
absolutely can do that because you own that house. And don't fucking question it. This guy bought this platform for two reasons. One, to make him impenetrable in the world of free speech because that's what he cares about the most. And the other thing is that he seems to think
he wants someone to shit on his chest.
he wants
Yeah,
someone.
he
He
wants to
wants
ask people
Grimes to
to pee
take a
on him.
dump on his head.
Yeah. He wants to be able to freely ask on Twitter,
hold
will
on.
somebody come
Right.
here and shit on my chest? And nobody will block him for it.
He's a-
Amber Turd. Didn't
They
they,
were together.
date?
They did.
She pooed on Depp's. I didn't even think of that until just now.
Way to connect the turd dots.
Look at that.
Yes. She
That's an
was
article.
used to pooing.
That's an article lock. There's your next drunk blog. You should do a conspiracy blog on that.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, you should. You totally should.
Is he into pooing? That's a
Who,
weird
Musk?
one for me.
Yeah, apparently he is.
Like, I enjoy that act, and I've commented on it multiple times, and I've got
Mhm.
lots of poo stories. I think somebody in the comment
know.
section on Friday suggested I write a book about all my
Mhm.
poo stories,
Yeah.
but I don't want anybody, like, I'm not going to get my wife to shit on my chest tonight.
The Lachlan Poo Chronicles. I like
It's
it.
just not going to happen.
Christ. Are you
Yeah, no,
serious?
probably not. But I think I'm with you on that, Dean. I think he's pissed off about like the way the algorithms work. I think he's gonna like he's gonna pull back the curtain. That's what was his intent, was to show how shadow banning works and like how people get shadow banned and how
It's a fucking expensive midlife crisis.
it really is. And it's like the boys
I'm all
from
for
Beaver, the boys from Beaver Bites were saying about that whole like it's we trigger people with hate. We went through that whole thing with Facebook when the Facebook whistleblower talked about how the algorithm worked when you reacted to a post. If you liked it, they didn't give a fuck. But if you reacted angry to it, then they would target you. It's the same thing that happens, and I think he's trying to be the white knight
Yeah.
for everybody, including, and it just happens to hit the right key with the alt-right. Because it is something that they think that they're
well, part of it
from
is too
free speech. So
part of it is too. So let's just be serious for a second, okay? I'm going to take you through Elon Musk's life real quick. I'll do it in like less than 5 minutes, and it'll be fun.
We should
we'll
have
talk.
some kind of music, something like Little House on the Prairie or something.
some poo
How's
music.
this? How's this? This is just the regular. This is
Poo
poo
music.
music. Yeah.
This is usually the poo music.
This is
And it's
loosening
all
me
in
up
this
already.
picture. It's all in this picture. You see this? It's loosening me up already.
I feel it rumbling.
It's all in this picture of Elon in his mid-20s, balding, goofy, geeky, loser bastard.
Yeah.
Now we've got Elon in his late 40s, flowing hair, $1 million
looks like a
suits,
loser.
still looks like a goofy
It
bastard,
looks like somebody peed in his eyes.
right? The guy on the left, who had nothing when he started PayPal with Peter Thiel, nothing. Right? The guy on the left, this version of Elon Musk, or you're right, depending on how you're looking at this screen. The balding, mid-20s loser geekophile.
From Moose
This
Jaw.
guy was a full-on member. This guy was a full-on member of Incel. Full-on.
Oh,
Couldn't
God,
get
yeah.
laid. Couldn't get chicks. Chicks hated him because he was weird, socially awkward. He talks about it from time to time. Well, guess what? $200 million will do after you sell PayPal.
Oh, no
You
shit.
can get some
You
new
get
hair.
girls to poo on you.
Yeah, or you poo on them. That's probably what it is. He probably hates them. Probably hates
You
his
can
mom.
get new hair. You can get nice clothes. You can be someone completely different. And you can show people that difference. So this guy went 20 odd years without having sex or a girl taking any interest in his penis, right? Fast forward to late 40s.
It's very true.
He has $283 billion in the bank.
That much, eh?
He owns a rocket ship company. He owns the world's biggest electric car maker. He owns tunnels in and under every city in the world.
Flamethrowers. Remember the flamethrowers?
He owns
Flamethrowers were awesome.
I wanted one so bad.
He's got a human robot in development. He's got human dogs in development. He just bought Twitter. When he got divorced,
Hold on,
he
what's a
married
human
this-
dog?
a robot dog, not a human dog.
Oh,
A robot
okay.
dog.
A lifelike
real dogs.
robot dog.
That carry like
Oh.
machine
Doesn't
guns
shit.
and shit that can go.
Well, it
in
probably
there.
does shit if it's his.
Probably, yeah. Right on his
Twice as
chest.
much. Yeah,
He probably
twice
makes
as
those
much.
dogs.
Come here,
shit
Fido.
all over.
Control F5. Watch this, guys.
That's why he's making the humanoid. These ones actually poop. Why, Elon? I don't want to talk about it.
That's none of your business. I'm
So-
free to make it.
After he gets his big PayPal payday, he marries this really nice young lady who's a writer. I can't remember her name. They have a few kids. Out of wedlock, he has a couple kids with a couple of other people. He leaves her. He gets on it, starts fucking, because the guy doesn't fuck. He hasn't fucked in like 25 years. No one will touch his wiener.
Hands up.
And now he's got all this money. Everybody's like, I want to touch your rich wiener. And he's like, okay, let me do it because I'm an incel and I fucking never had sex and I haven't even seen a vagina. So let's go. Let's have fun. So then he leaves her, has a kid with someone else. So now we're up to like 7 illegitimate kids. Then he marries Grimes or meets her. And in that time frame, he's also
playing for
getting
the
crapped
NFL.
on by Amber Heard. They had a threesome with a couple of people or a foursome. I don't know, dude. The stories that are legitimately out there, Google them, look at them. The guy is like literally, it's sort of like when a hungry person gets to a buffet and they haven't eaten in a week and they just gorge and gorge and gorge. That's all this guy wanted. It's almost like he did all that fucking physics and all the computer shit in high school and university for the express purpose of going out and being the opposite of what he naturally is, which is just a fucking bald loser that has no
Oh, the
friends and can't
Facebook
get
guy,
laid.
the same thing. It was all motivated on his
well-
lack of ability for relationships.
Right?
Yeah, it reminds me of remember the Jerry Seinfeld episode where George stops fucking and he becomes like brilliant at things and he does everything right and everything's
That's
good.
right.
It was like Elon. Elon
remember
was
that.
doing the right thing. He was fucking. He had PayPal. It was huge. It was successful. Now that he's had sex, now he's being a fucking idiot with
Oh, yeah.
all the money that he made. But he's still
Sex
rich.
fucked him up. Yeah.
Yeah, sex fucked him. Pussy fucked that guy over. It did. Pussy and poop. Done.
Oh, but it's a fact. He loves the Shizers. He loves that stuff. Big
Are
fan.
you sure?
Yeah, totally.
Allegedly, it's a
100%. I'm 100% sure actually that Elon Musk is a big fan of the poop games.
He's got
And the
$280
tinkle.
billion. I'm not fucking dancing with that lawsuit.
And is it weird that Trump is into it too, and all those alt-right guys?
The pee, Russian pee.
Trump's on. He wants people to pee on him.
What is that? What is the
okay,
sensation? How does someone go?
Friend,
I like that.
It's a burning.
Dude, I want to be as far away from the bathroom that a woman is taking a crap in as I can. I don't want
to
to
pretend it never happens. They don't do it.
I have a story.
Oh, good.
So,
is it short?
This friend of mine.
No,
it's a quick one.
Yeah. Okay.
Gonna go do the laundry.
This friend of mine, he disappeared, kind of vanished out of my life for a bit, right? And then reappears, and he's in town, and we go for dinner, a couple of drinks, and I could sort of tell he was sitting on a story, and he had mutually broken up with his girlfriend and gone on a bit of a tear, and he goes, I ended up in this other country and started dating this girl, and he was the same age as her mother, and so there was this huge separation. And about a couple of drinks in through the meal, he divulged to me that she was into the golden shower game.
Oh wow.
And so I of course had a lot of questions, and I'm like, so what? She wanted you to pee on her? And he's like, no. She wanted to pee on me. And I'm like, what did you do? Did you get in the tub, or it's kind of messy, isn't it? And so he was telling me all these stories, but it was a dominance thing. It had everything to do with her wanting to be in some sort of control, right? So I think
why don't she just tell him what to do, like she normally probably does?
Because I don't know.
It's a lot cleaner.
It meant more. It turned her on a little bit or something. Because I was fascinated by it.
Yeah, I am too. Not in a good way either.
No,
it's one of those ones.
I don't want to do it. It's just it seems like it's a weird. What do you call it? There's a difference between kinks and fetishes. That's more of a fetish, I think, than a kink.
I think it is. I don't know if it's a kink or a fetish. I think a kink is like, hey, do you want to get dressed up like an Ewok and do it?
Yeah.
And I think a fetish is more like, hey, would you mind taking a leak on my arm? That's what I think, I guess.
What if they're dressed like an Ewok when they're doing it, though?
That's a very specific kink and fetish all in one. I would be okay with the Ewok, wouldn't be okay with the urine. However, if someone was like, dress up like an Ewok and take a leak on me, I'd be like, listen, I think you probably need counseling.
We should probably. Well, we're going to call telehealth right now.
Let's not judge too soon, because
I'm fucking judging.
How
do you not judge people that love it?
I'd be all over the Ewok peeing thing.
I have one.
I'd want to be in the tub though. Just
I know
a
very well-known.
Oh, I love this. These are my favorite. I love this.
Female journalist / writer who may or may not be a huge neocon writer who may or may not contribute sometimes to the Sun.
Keep going.
When I first moved to Toronto years ago, we had the same friend group, and we all went out and partied one night. And my friend, well, I'll just say his name, Brother Bill, who we've had on this very show.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, my friend so-and-so is coming, and his girlfriend is also coming, so we're going to go pick them up first. I'm like, yeah, sure. So we go in a car service. We go pick them up. It was like a limo back then. They didn't have car services. She watches this and hates my guts, too, so you know who you are.
Oh, boy.
We get in the car, and before we get in the car, Bill says, by the way, so-and-so always likes to pee on my friend. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah.
Seems like an odd thing just to randomly bring up on an evening you're going out.
I think he had just done a bunch of lines of coke, so who knows? I mean, whatever. And I'm like, what? He's like, yeah. So this person gets in with their girlfriend, who I'm speaking of, who likes to pee on people.
How long did it take you?
I couldn't look at her. I was like, I can't even look at her.
You brought it up in what?
No,
Come on,
but
you
then,
said
but
something.
then it was like months later. She creates a large story. She's part of a large story. Don't want to get into who it is. And
yes, you do.
I totally do so bad because she's a piece of shit of an individual, but I'm not going to do this to her. But
I'm calling you after the show.
I'm not telling you either. But anyway,
Don't tell me.
A few months later, I'm on the air, and this person is part of the news cycle, and I'm like, I know a lot about that person, and they're like, what do you know? I'm like, she might be into the golden showers. Within 20 minutes, I had an email. A lot of people listen to that show. I had an email. If you say a fucking word about me on that show, I will sue you.
Oh my God.
What?
Like just like that, eh? Oh shit.
She writes like that too now on Twitter, but yeah, I won't tell you who it is. I will never tell you who it is.
Thank you for all these clues. You're great.
We learned something about a local person in the media. And
these are such fucking great rumors to spread for no reason, aren't they? I love
I'm
it.
not going to say anything, but we
like
slip it into the show all the time. Like we make cracks about it all the time without saying who it is. And the only people we're entertaining are ourselves and maybe 2 other people that we know that know about this. This guy's into pegging. He's into pegging, and I didn't even know what pegging was until we had to look it up.
And you never want to be an asshole when someone tells you that stuff too. So you're like, oh, really? What is that? That's good. And then when you find out what it is, you're like, what the fuck?
No, I Googled it right away on my phone, and I was like, wow, why would you want that? Like,
I would love to see Lachlan's search history just for these things, because it's not something he's into, but he looks a lot of this stuff up just to find out what it is.
I looked it up right away
because
I did not know what pegging is, but it's very specific.
It is.
It's like
it is, and a lot of people
just
like
looked it up.
I know exactly what it is, dude. I found out last year.
But apparently, he would step out on his significant other, and he would date these people, and then
you can't do that with your wife.
He'd break up with them, and then they'd go out and they'd tell people that, like,
you can't do that.
So, but the problem is, you never know if they did it as a, like, I was.
You keep your enemies close. You keep your pegging friends closer. That's a great rule of thumb out there. Gentlemen.
Like, we still don't know about the Taylor Hall rumors, whether or not that was, like, if they did that.
Made those buddies. You made those up. That Taylor Hall loves My Little Pony. He's a brony. You made that up. You made all of that. You made it.
No,
up.
not that one.
Yeah.
He said, "Don't yuck someone else's yum."
That's true. Now everybody's in the comment section. They're like, "Who?"
I peed on somebody once.
Did you?
Yeah, and I got punched. I got punched in the face for it.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, so it wasn't sexual. It
was some guy lipping off.
Boy,
it was some guy
dude.
There was a guy lipping off at a urinal, and I just turned and peed on his leg.
Did you?
Yep.
Were you drunk?
And he beat you up?
Yes.
Yep. Yep. I got punched rightly in the mouth. But
I've never peed on anybody, and I've never been peed on.
Yeah.
No, me neither. I'd like to keep it that way, to be honest with you too. It's
I've had a pretty good life.
There's a reason they call it waste, right? Like, you don't see me bringing a bunch of garbage into the bedroom for some sex, do you? Hey, listen, honey, I wouldn't mind throwing some old wrappers and a can of dog food at you. A little bit kind of turns me on.
Yeah, weird. Yeah. Everyone's got their thing now, right? Like, listen, I don't want to share my search history.
No, you don't. I know what yours is, so I think I actually probably know what it is.
You think so?
Okay.
Yeah, I think so.
See if you can guess.
Animal related?
No, there's no, it's not weird.
We're going to go around the horn here.
I don't have one.
Figure out everybody's kink.
I'll throw mine out.
Okay, don't say it. Let's try and guess it.
All right.
Like the way you guess our dinner. You seem you're a yoga guy.
What does that have to do with what I
like
whack off
stretchy
to?
things?
Cirque du Soleil.
You like I don't know. Is it normal straight guy girl sex? Something to do with that?
It's fairly common.
You like anal?
I think it's threesomes. I think it's
anal.
Threesomes.
It's anal.
Dang. It's not anal.
No, it's not. Threesomes. Anal threesomes.
Sometimes that happens in those threesomes.
Yes, it does. That's what I hear.
Depends on how many How many holes you got in the room?
I'm gonna have to research that this afternoon for a few hours and just make sure that that's true.
Hawk has to check the whole.
Locke's right. There is anal in
the
threesome
whole
porn.
to dick
Crazy.
ratio.
Linz, what's yours?
Take a guess. Try and figure it out.
Anal.
Animals.
I'll be very honest.
Food.
No, it's not animals. It's normal. Yeah, food. It's food.
Food porn.
Lesbian.
It's close. Yeah. It's very akin. It's akin to Locke's. I like the two chicks.
Orgies.
Oh, you love the group shit.
But you know what I love about that?
All the people.
The more real and shitty the video, the better.
Oh, you like that? Like
The amateur,
filmed in
Oh,
mad
yeah,
space.
true
Amateur?
amateur real people. Like
if you had a
watching-
porn category that was a go-to on your computer, if I was like, "Hey, listen, you smash this porn category all the time," it would be amateur. Okay, yeah,
100%. But it has to be real. Like, because some of these porn companies put out, they call it amateur, and it's fucking not.
Real.
I want-
real fake.
Hello,
I want-
the plumber
like,
is
she's-
here.
Like, no, she was at the. This girl was out at a bar. She got too drunk. She probably smells a bit. You know, like that kind of.
She
You
smells.
know what I mean? Like, you can tell, like, she's just a
Her
normal
uncle was
lady.
filming.
Yeah. Her uncle's got the camera.
Her uncle had the only family cell phone, so
Yeah.
he was on duty that night.
Yeah. Telling her you could be on OnlyFans, dear. You know, shit
All
like
right.
that.
We are desperately trying to get Jimmy on OnlyFans. And this morning, the conversation revolved around maybe somebody joins him. Like, maybe that's what he needs to get the push over the edge.
How much
right?
money he'd make on OnlyFans being
Oh
a
my
little person
God.
who's
Thank you.
He'd make so much fucking money. And you know what? Here's the thing: is if you don't get a cut of that and I don't get a cut of that, I'll be pissed because we have to push him into this. Because my God, little person porn is a massive category. There's so many people like that video we showed last week of the woman who was trying to get to her husband and
They
he's
showed
passing a
Jimmy that
midget over
today.
the railing. That one.
I showed it to Jimmy today. We
you
did
get
a
an
locker
expert
room
opinion?
TVS episode of it because I swore to God that it was his sister, and he said no.
That was filmed in Tabor. A lot of Spanish people in Tabor.
I was a little worried about playing it because I don't know Spanish, and I don't know what that woman was saying. So we looked up punta, and punta
punta.
is
C word.
whore.
Oh, is
No,
it whore?
whore. Just it's whore.
Yeah,
Because that was the one that kept shooting through. I was like, should we be playing that one? And I said, Grant, Google that quickly before we're playing CUNT.
See what I mean? I want to
You get-
see their Google search.
Can you get in trouble on the radio for playing? I don't even know the answer to this. Can you get? In
I
trouble
don't know
for
the
playing,
answer. We
swear
didn't
in
know
a
either.
foreign
So
language?
we just rolled some dice this morning and played it.
Smart programming decision. Good for you.
I have a feeling that because the CRTC is so fucking ridiculous in this country, I bet you it's like, well, only if it's in French. You can say
Probably.
you can say the C word in Spanish or in Russian.
Well,
but
Oh
in
no!
can't
You know
say
what?
it.
France,
Actually, I think about it because
they
we played a swear in Polish once when I was on the radio, and we got dinged for it. They're like, "Nah, you
Kurwa?
can't." But then again, were they looking for things to ding me for? Probably at that point.
We had a
Yeah.
Polish guy on, and he went on a tirade and swore a bunch. And then we laughed like crazy because it sounds funny. Have you ever heard the Polish swear?
Oh yeah.
Sounds
But
good.
he was saying some awful shit, and we didn't get in trouble for that. But again, it's about whether or not people phone and complain. So no one complained that day.
Oh, by the way,
right?
puta.
Puta.
According to DaCosta, who's a regular listener, great guy, big fan of the show, it means bitch in Portuguese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, well,
And this is the clip.
Spanish-
This is the clip. Remember this clip?
Portuguese is Spanish, right? Like it's got a bit of Spanish to it.
Oh yeah. Wait for
This
it.
is real. This video is real.
Yeah, dude. We played this last week. Guy's cheating on his wife. She comes home to it. She's pissed off. She knows he's getting laid. But the real surprise happens just as she enters the condo, just as she enters the apartment, because the lady who he is cheating on his wife with is a little person, and here she comes. There she is. There you go.
Oh my
Yeah,
God.
looking
So funny.
looking good. That's his fetish. He was like, "Yeah, I got it. Listen, honey, you can't be this person for me. I need a little person. You're full size person."
Look at this.
And
she
and
put
it
her
was-
skirt back on. Watch this.
Yeah,
She
yeah,
puts
well,
the skirt.
Yeah, she
And then-
puts her wrap on and then hides under the box because she's a little person, right? And then the wife is like, I guess she's not here. She goes outside momentarily to look for this little woman who her husband banged and passed over the railing like a
This
pillow.
isn't the first time this has happened either. That's
She comes
this guy.
out.
what I said. She was told to bring her box. Make sure the box is outside before you get here.
And this is the little person's mistake. She starts moving. And she goes, boom.
And they're off.
The running is hilarious to me.
Her legs.
I was
moved
saying this morning,
2.5 times faster than the other ones.
The thing that I enjoyed so much about that video is how industrious that neighborhood is and how quickly they came to his aid.
Yeah.
Right? Like that, you need to, that's community.
Yep.
Right? That's awesome.
It's the difference. That's what that's what we're missing here. That's why we have to have convoys, so we can get back to that. We can get back to that sort of brotherhood and sisterhood in this country. That's what we've been missing. That's what we should protest. You know what? I like the idea of that lady filling out permits to have protests and
Bad idea.
We
That's
should
a neighbor.
do that too. We should
Right?
do that every weekend.
We should just reserve every public space for every protest and never show up. Yeah, that's a good idea.
Is it worth saying out loud that they could probably do the same thing?
I don't
but we
think
thought
they're
of it
that
first.
smart.
And dude, did you see them organizing? Did you see the convoy?
They got
were making
posters
pubic,
made.
dude. They were making pubic hair chili. They were bussing in little kids' red wagons full of diesel gas and jerry cans. Like everything in their MOU was misspelt. Half the fucking crew got arrested. The other half literally left the country. So no, you can't rely on these guys or anything. They're terrible.
Foresight is not their strong suit.
No.
All right. Nah. Just seems ridiculous that they don't just get a protest license themselves.
Why are you helping them?
He's trying to get a job. Hire Lachlan as your advisor.
Lachlan's like, I don't know, guys. It seems ridiculous that those guys can't get it together. I mean, have you watched them? Anyway, thanks for doing this, guys. Appreciate it. That is Lachlan Cross, 95.7 Cruise FM in Edmonton is where you can find him. You can listen to him every single morning, no matter where you are on the World Wide Web, 957cruisefm.ca. Thanks, Lach. Great to see you. And,
thank you.
Love
that
you,
is
pal.
Ryan Lindley. Yeah, he's coming to town. Ryan Lindley, Sheeple Shepherd Podcast at Ryan Lindley on Twitter. Follow him.
My appearance on the podcast is going to be a little hit and miss next week.
No worries.
Just based on travel and but we'll figure it out once I sit down and figure out what I'm doing. My wife does all the planning for our trips. Probably an
want to have her on to talk about it.
So she just sort of says you need to get up at this time, and we're driving here on that time, and we're coming home, and I don't really have a lot of details outside of. Yeah,
you're coming here. Might go to a Jays game. We're gonna have a barbecue. Guaranteed, I get to watch.
Well,
you
the Jays game is getting me into trouble.
Oh, you
already
in shit already?
Yeah.
Why? Because you came here to see your daughter graduate, and instead you're going to a Jays Yankees game with us,
and a steak dinner,
and a barbecue. You don't even know about the barbecue, but you're coming.
Yeah, there's a barbecue too. Oh, dude, we've
Friday
already filled
night?
Because yeah, it's
Friday.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Yeah. All right. Anyway, thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Good to see you, boys. Oh, goat.
Oh,
GOUGOAT will get you $3 off of the goat merch on the Dean shop. Okay, so go to deanblundell.com, hit the shop button. It takes you to the merch page. There's goat gear there for all of the Canadian teams. And if you punch in GOAT into the promo code, it'll save you $3 on a t-shirt.
That's pretty sweet.
GOAT.
There's also Sheeple Shepherd merchandise up there now too, which is really fucking cool. I got a mug. There's a mug with my little sheep guy on it.
I'm actually gonna buy your mug. I'm gonna get a mug. I'm gonna get a mug for the all the extra podcasts that we put onto the. I've decided because I love those mugs.
I'm gonna put a shelf behind the studio here and have it there.
Yeah,
goat gear. Get your goat gear.
Go to deanblundell.com, go to the shop, and use promo code GOAT. Well, fuck, who cares? He's been off for like 4. And they won last night in overtime, and who cares? Right? It's just home ice. That's all we're playing for is home ice. It doesn't even matter anymore. Anyway, go to deanblundell.com, go to the shop, and you can get the Matthews goat gear. Don't worry about buying any of the other goat gear. Even
McDavid. Get McDavid
Don't worry about buying
having
any
an
other
off
goat
year.
gear.
He's only got 120 fucking points.
I can't wait. I can't wait at the end of this promo to see the actual numbers of what was bought. Because
Yeah.
Locke, I think you're going to be sadly disappointed.
Well, he has access to all those numbers. It's his store, actually.
Oh, that's
he'll be
true.
able
I
to-
guess. Yeah,
he'll be able to
lie
lie
to
his
us.
way
He'll
out
say-
of it.
He's
Yeah,
going to
for
lie.
sure.
He's going to
I
buy
will
all that
tell you this.
Austin Matthews.
The Leafs goat gear, the 34 goat gear is outselling everything else.
Weird.
Outselling the Flames, outselling the Habs. It's outselling all of them. Jets, all of them.
It's odd. It's a phenomenon.
Yeah.
Weird. I don't even know how that's happening.
Yeah.
That doesn't make any sense at all.
No,
What? Nobody.
not logical.
Yeah. People don't want a reasonably priced T-shirt of a player that they like. Is that in blue?
Listen, we'll catch up. We'll catch up.
I don't
We
think
got
you
time.
will.
We got time,
much is it gonna
especially when the
cost
Leafs
you?
get punted in the first round.
At least you have that promo code now when you try and buy all the McDavid merch to bump the numbers up.
Yeah. There you go.
Save $3 every
Well,
time.
that's why we did it. It might not work for the Matthews merch. I'm kidding.
GOAT is your promo code. The Canadian NHL team GOAT gear. You can go to deanblundell.com and you can have a look. You can get your Winnipeg Jets GOAT gear. I think it's Connor Little. What's his name again? Fuck, what's the guy?
Stop
Connor
it.
McDouglas.
No. What?
The
Kyle
redhead.
Connor. That's his name. Yeah. Ginger. The only ginger player in the league. Him and Owen Tippett.
Yep.
But go get your GOAT gear. GOAT is your promo code GOAT. You'll get a
And
few
the
dollars
Flames
off
is
each
Lucic.
purchase.
It's
Yeah,
not goat.
Lucic. It's not.
It's not goat.
It's
It's Johnny
Kachuk.
Hockey.
Yeah, I know. Thanks, guys. Appreciate
No,
it.
Kachuk is Sens. Whatever his
Sorry.
number is. Yeah.
Locke,
Sorry.
don't yell at me.
Yeah, fuck. Talk
All
to
right,
you guys
boys.
soon.
Ciao,
All
boy.
Take care. There you go, boys. Everybody's gone today. That is it. That is all she wrote. Do. Thanks, everybody. Really appreciate you being here. Don't forget you can sign up for a newsletter at deanblundell.com. Say hi to all our sponsors and friends, including domination.com. Dominate with your content by using domination.com, DMNTN.com. Super easy to use. It's AI for people that like to do content. You can make commercials. It takes you minutes instead of hours. You can get 72 of them. Promos, micro content, doesn't matter. It's AI for people that produce streaming, gaming, online content. Really, that's digital content. It's like your fucking saving grace. You'll save hours. So use them today, domination.com. Try them for free, DMNTN.com. Also at Ed's Fine Imports, his Gitch, they're on us. They can be on you too. GITCH, promo code Gitch3 is your promo code. And here's the deal. You get it. He'll send you the Gitch and a pair for free when you use that promo code. Clothing for men and boys. The underwear that he sells, Gitch, it's luxury branded underwear, boxer briefs, Canadian made. You will love them. The only underwear we wear, and you should wear them too. Go to edsfineimports.com. And, of course, our friends at Easy Auto Financial, making it easy for you to get in a vehicle and get that financing that you need. If you need financing and you've got bad credit, it doesn't matter. These guys will do everything for you and then some. Bad credit doesn't matter. Good credit, even better. Easy Auto Financial, no obligation. Sign up today. EasyAutoFinancial.ca. Have a great day, everybody. We will see you tomorrow on this very program with my friend Alex Rebekov, who is in Ukraine, Cherkasy, Ukraine, as a matter of fact. And he's the guy that sent me the video of Putin shaking it up. All Parkinson's. Anyway, he's going to report live back from Ukraine as our brothers and sisters there continue to fight for their freedom and their lives. So we'll see Alex tomorrow. Have a great day, everybody. We'll see you then. Bye.